PKA 671, our guest Hex Taylor.
This episode of PKA is brought to you by Faro Distro, Lock and Load, and a brand new sponsor, Qualia Senolytic. Qualia Senolytic, Neurohacker Collective. We'll talk about them later. Hex, thank you for joining us again on Halloween.
Thank you for inviting me on Halloween.
Every year.
It does seem like it's every year. There's
Yeah.
a skeleton behind you.
Well, I had to show up something. I see you guys very well dressed. I came here with nothing but,
You
nothing.
found me right away. That ruins the whole thing.
It does. It does.
I was hoping it's...
For the audio listeners, which is most of you, Woody is Waldo. He's looking solid, looking good. I love the background. I bet I could, I'm going to be looking for Waldo in that background throughout the show.
I will never find them. These aren't real glasses.
Oh, well, not like you didn't like take somebody else's glasses and you're like looking through a prescription.
No, but they go right through.
Oh, there's not even any glasses.
A female driver.
Oh no!
Jesus Christ!
What were you doing? Was it your fault too?
No, I was driving properly because
I was just sitting at home.
I was sitting in my chair right through the living room. She came.
And I am Pikachu. You can see because Ash has chosen me as his battle companion, throwing me out there. I'm a big ass Pikachu. I'd beat the fuck out of the other Pikachu. Actually, I would lose horribly. I don't actually have electric powers.
No,
I'd be shocked to death.
I'm just me. I got a little bit extra tan right now, but it usually looks the same shade.
Yeah, well, you are more than enough, as the Lord would say.
We were just talking to Hutch, and Hutch was like, you guys have strong hairlines. Hex got that strong hairline, too.
Yeah.
That's good genetics right there.
Look at that thing.
Hasn't moved a millimeter since he was...
What would be funny is if like all four of us are here with our hairlines and then we like invite Hutch on and make it kind of like an intervention.
You start rattling propitious.
Like it's a choice. Like
we all donate a little hair.
Yeah.
No, I like his hair, and we just make it seem as like if he's doing it on purpose, just as if he was doing some random drug. But it's like, Hutch, you got to stop. It's going away.
Yeah. Hutch,
He brought back the lip ring. Usually around every single new Call of Duty release. I just saw him in one of the Instagram.
You don't like the lip ring?
Not a good look.
He is the only. I mean, I don't even remember back in high school, but he's the only person I know that like loves to rock the lip ring.
You know what it reminds me of? Like, I like that he doesn't give a fuck what anybody thinks. And
of course,
lip ring first of all, but in the old school Punisher movie. Like the first one from like 2002 or something. The one guy's got a whole bunch of lip rings. They torture him by pulling them out one after another with pliers. And I always think that when I see somebody that's got these exposed loops of metal through their flesh, like
I
will fuck
frequent a lot of 7-Elevens. So that scenario might come up where he might get into a street fight. Somebody's gonna go.
That's just what's up. If I see one of those choker collars,
I don't know about that.
That chick blow.
Sit back and relax.
There are listeners out there who are going to agree with me.
Yeah,
they're going to be like, Woody, and a tongue ring. That means blowjob, right? Right?
Sure.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. You
guys have never like made certain associations with like a tattoo or a tattoo location or jewelry.
Tattoo location for sure.
I feel like it's like that high school rainbow party shit. Like once we're all
advertising that they do, right?
These adults. I will say like tattoo position, no matter what it is, if it's front of the neck here, kind of in the Adam's apple region, I assume steer clear of that person. Like probably danger because that person truly doesn't give a fuck.
So let me ask you this. When you say steer clear danger, is this in the context of like a psycho future girlfriend or like a guy who's
get that out of here? Come on, buddy. Come on.
It's terrible. It's too scary for this season.
It's not Halloween yet.
Are you saying this is a scary dude you'd stay away from or a scary girlfriend you'd avoid romantically?
Either one. If someone has a big frontal neck tattoo like that, that's someone I'm going to steer clear of.
If you're not an athlete,
they have bad decision making. If you're a professional athlete
or a streamer,
yes. If you're
a really successful streamer,
yeah,
you shouldn't be going live for 15 people with like.
You can't get a neck tattoo if you're measuring you were counting dozens.
Yeah. You better be hitting 100K every now.
I'll tell her wearing like bald headed and then tattoos, I would not be surprised, and I'd be like, look how far we've come.
I'd get on the floor. A robbery is going down.
Exactly, in reverse.
The real teller is tied up.
You know what? I mean, it is, right? Like you like the apparel, right? Like you in your head didn't see that person wearing a necktie and a shirt and a suit, right?
Oh, because,
that's how I envision it.
Neck tattoo too.
Yeah. Well, so that's what I'm saying. Like you kind of hide it with that. So I don't know, but I would not be surprised.
I'm not against tattoos. I like people with tattoos. I don't have any of my own. You asked that a minute ago, but it's really because I'm not very creative or and I don't really stand for anything. And so why would I want anything to stand for me? Like what am I gonna put on there? My name. That's the best tattoo, Kyle.
You should. I want to
your own name.
That's what I'm all about, motherfucker. Always,
Kyle.
Since 1986.
I would be honored.
What about you two? You wouldn't get a PKA? Like that's such an iconic logo. So old school. Like you wouldn't get that.
We got a bunch of fans that have done it. Got the PK pill on there.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that. And I know that what they're really doing is getting a tattoo. Yeah, that tattoo. But no, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that.
I'm not against tattoos.
I've you four get together for the yearly retreat. You guys aren't all getting the same.
What do you call it with the
caterpillar jerk off?
We all go inside and there's
what are you trying to say here?
When we get the big circle together at the cabin every year. And
that as soon as I saw the earmuffs he wore to the retreat.
Yeah. No, I saw Kyle with his lip ring, and I know he loves doggy style. That's what I know.
My God.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are against tattoos. Woody has one. He's the only one of us. Kyle and I have the similar problem of like, I'll think of something neat, and then even 3 days later, I'm like, oh, thank God I don't have that. That was stupid. Like I can't commit.
What is this mist behind you, sir?
It's that lady's car smoking. Yeah, it's the windshield wiper motor. She's trying to clear the windshield. She's got them. That's what that is.
You're spraying that fucking shit in your room, your closed off room, the whole show.
I mean, leave it on. I'm giving you little bursts of it. I've got a little remote here. Like if I put that thing full on, it would kill me. Like it's so powerful.
What's the smell? What's it smell like? Just like regular smoke, or
it's if you've ever been it's closed,
but it's fun.
Oh, you don't think it's dense enough?
No. I don't think it's marijuana smoke.
Oh no, it's not marijuana smoke.
Is it? How's it going over there in Georgia? We're good, right?
We've. You mean as far as weed?
Yeah,
I pretty much got a steady supply of it's THCA, right?
That's the new.
Oh my God,
strong as shit.
Oh my God, THCA is the shit. It
sends you.
I'm not a chemist, so it's all just fucking alphabet soup to me. It starts off as a legal chemical, and when you heat it, it becomes the illegal chemical. So you're, and I'm like,
yeah.
Magic a do a dippity do a bibbity bobbity boo. And I fucking, all right, give me two.
He was like, oh, let me explain the loophole to you. So THCA in its pre-smoked form, different, legal, 100% good to carry around in all legal states and whatnot. The second that's why then when I've been smoking these joints, they're sending me, I'm getting fucking lit.
Yeah.
Like, high as shit.
They don't obviously mature and go through the adolescence part.
Yeah. Same with like mushroom spores. They do that too. Like you can order mushrooms online and then make them grow them in your closet, I guess. Never done that, but
it's rather difficult.
The people who succeed at it say it's easy. I think it's hard.
That's how a lot of things go.
Yeah, we grew mold. I guess I wanted to grow fungus and I grew mold. I was close.
you eat it and you're like, oh, I feel just sick.
We've got a guy in our Discord. Well, we've got several that grow mushrooms, but we've got one that like makes DMT in his kitchen on Pyrex with got the fucking gloves on, mask and goggles, and he's in there fucking like Walter White making DMT out of shit he orders off the internet.
But he doesn't look like a chemist. He looks like in the same way he looks like a chemist in the same way I look like Pete. You're still gonna smoke this, man. I don't think you're supposed to wear like floor cleaning gloves when you're doing that, like the yellow ones.
I don't see a problem with those yellow dishwashing gloves for his mom. Loaned him.
How
is
Pine Park going? I know you're
really good, man. Be curators of cannabis, and then we do collaborations with with different multi-state operator, brands like Doghouse is the latest one. Roundtable Selections. We've done my people in Private Reserve Garden in Oklahoma City. So we've done a collaboration in Oklahoma City. We did recently Detroit and the Falls, and obviously California. So three states we're in right now.
Nice. What are you always experimenting with new strains and new everything, or do you kind of
when I get the chance to? Yeah. But we have experts, man. We have these two really, really talented, content creators, Tim Brown and Eric Kahn, he's probably like one of the top, if not the top, cannabis creator. Eric Kahn is his name, and he's just like smokes so much and so many different variations that. Most of the time we just let him pick the thing that sends him the farthest, and that's what we go to.
I'm just mixed on this idea of a cannabis expert. Like if you get into candy, I want to be your expert.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You can do that
shit, and why it's doing you can't just be like, I'm baked. Oh
I feel like one's just better bullshitting, right?
No,
the sommeliers know something because. They're being I watched a Netflix show about it many years
competitions,
ago. Yeah, the competitions. And so like they a little bit of lemon. Is that lemon rind?
But it's from the hills of Versailles, and during they'll give you locations, area. They'll give you like the entirety of every single thing that they can think of that they can recognize from a certain region and shit.
I just want to clarify as far the sommelier cover like hard liquors and all sorts of things like because that's whiskeys, what I was more getting
bourbon,
whiskeys
maybe?
And such, like the guys that are experts about that, because those things really are very nuanced. And what I've noticed is that the experts can absolutely tell the difference between a bad whiskey and a superb whiskey, and they can even tell the difference between great whiskey and good whiskey. But when it comes to wine, whenever I see it really put to the test, they'll slip in a $10 bottle of wine and it'll slide right side by side and with that fancy schmancy. They can't tell.
You couldn't pull that shit with me. Like I'd be like, these aren't real Fruit Loops. This is Acme brand. Get the fuck out of
here. You know how Woody would know? He'd be like, processed sugar. This one's number one. Mm-hmm. Like, is that a watermelon Skittle I taste in my wine? It's like, yes, it's a Mad Dog 2020.
It's the shit that bums drink, so it'll fuck you up.
Oh yeah. But I think most
Cheetos is
you could probably fool, because I've seen that shit about sommeliers too, which I'm pretty sure is just wine, that sometimes they slip up, fool the bourbon people too. That would probably be even easier to fool because it's so fucking strong. So much.
I watch. So just based on like all the stuff there, they will force those experts. The chocolate expert will have to. Is this $5 chocolate or $500 chocolate? Have a bite. And it's usually easy to tell with that.
I watched the Cured Meats episode of that. Yeah,
sure, they're fantastic. It's fun viewing. But I've also watched YouTube channels that are just about nothing but liquor. It's like what we do here is we taste these liquors. Here's Conor McGregor's liquor. We're going to tell you what we think about it. And you got 2 or 3 liquor experts, and they sort of it tastes a little bit like this other one. Yeah, there's a smell of vanilla, but you can definitely tell they cheaped out on the barrels or whatever. Like they'll discuss and rate those things. But
one of those Scotch or bourbon channels, and it was just some old man who would, I guess, this is a Highland Moor Scottish 25-year, very high quality. I can taste the peat in that. And like, there's one episode of him that like got memed and viral because it is him like sitting there in a room with the camera panning down, and he's like drinking different kinds of Scotch, and his wife is like packing up and leaving behind him, like his life is being destroyed, and it's just like he's sitting there getting a little tanked on bourbon, and it's like, man, I don't know if this is the episode you should have uploaded. People aren't focused at all on the peat.
That's rough.
It's rough, but he must have really liked that whiskey. He uploaded it anyway. Yeah, I haven't watched.
I think there was every now and then there's one of those live stream moments. I think recently there was something where the guy is claiming that he's sick. Like, no. He's claiming that the reason that he's told him. It's like, can you believe it? I meant to take the trash out. I thought it was Monday nights. It always was. Now I'm homeless. And they're donating money. His mom walks in or whatever, and she's like, I'm getting messages that say that you're homeless. You live here. What is this all about? And he's just like, fuck, like the jig is up. It's the worst. It's so
he
awkward.
wasn't even being kicked out?
No, he's making the whole thing up for donations. Just fake tears and everything.
What a scumbag.
He's drinking Crystal Light.
Throwing his own mom under the bus
To
on
make
a stream.
buck.
Yeah, to make $60.
Terrible.
What an asshole.
We were talking about your costume before we kicked things off, and I said it's always, I mean, it gets glossed over, but it's always made me a little bit uncomfortable, this ill-defined relationship between the Pokemon and its master or mistress.
And trainer is the now nomenclature. Yeah,
that
master's
like
antiquated.
BDSM nomenclature.
Really see that as part of it. Like even at the age of 7 or 8, when the first Pokemon came out, I was like, there's no way they would turn 10-year-old, because 10 years old is the time you start your Pokemon journey. You get to skip out on school and just go wander the world with dangerous animals. And I was like, there's no way they would just give kids access to flame-breathing dragons and didn't have the sexual knowledge or wherewithal to see where people would get creepy with it until I was older. And I remember the Pokemon Jinx, which was a first generation. Pull up Jinx. It's the only Pokemon in the original 151 that is like JYNX, I think is how it's spelled. It's an ice type, ice and psychic type. One of those things that if you saw a Pokemon trainer who was like a bit ghastly, a bit ghoulish with a Jinx, you would know, like, look, it's got tits. And so you'd know that they were fucking Jinx, which is totally wrong. You shouldn't be able to have sex with your own Pokemon. Unless you use Woody's rule of having sex with animals, the law of Woody, which is if it can stop you, she could freeze you up, keep you from doing anything. She could psychically move you away. She could stop someone like Brock Lesnar because she's magic.
But she can't because I'm her master, and I'll keep her in that little ball forever if she doesn't suck my dick with them big old dick-sucking lips.
Yeah, right. I was going to say, Taylor's someone having sex with this girl.
She wasn't purple before we started.
A blowjob Pokemon.
The Jinx, the blowjob Pokemon.
Get over here, you grimace with tits-looking monstrosity.
Yeah. I remember I never caught a Jinx because I was like, this is the dumbest-looking Pokemon ever. But I did think like this shows
Joe Rogan
my age.
Fucking hands.
This is the first Pokemon I've ever wanted, Taylor.
This is the only one you've ever wanted. I do remember being at the age where I'm like, man, I'd never have to learn anything in school if I had an Alakazam. You could just psychically do my test.
Look at that Karen Bob wig.
So this is a newer Pokemon.
This is a creep who drew a Pokemon that's more fuckable, but that ain't cool.
Does it have a body?
It was my 9/11. That's how big it was. It was my good.
Please
9/11.
explain how Pokemon was your 9/11.
Well, you can also make the argument that 9/11 was my 9/11. But yeah, there was Victory Bell, which he would fuck sometimes, probably.
Ooh.
Well,
what is that thing?
Yeah, it's just a big plant. Well, that's the fully evolved version. It's not as fucked as an elementary.
It's a meter wide, Woody.
No, don't tell jokes.
It looks like a fucking trash can that at a baseball stadium.
Yeah, I can't believe, like, God, it sucks. You're only 5 years older than me, but you missed Pokemon entirely.
I'm so happy, dude.
So my jam.
I remember a kid showed me one of those. A kid pulled one of those cards out in like 6th grade and showed me that shit, and it was all reflecty, and I was like, no, to stay away from you.
A hollow.
It looked so. I wasn't about it, the trading card game. It's like it was so far away from anything I wanted to do.
Well, the Game Boy game was way bigger, and the series. Like me and all my friends played the games. We'd like on Saturday morning, you'd wake up early and watch the cartoon.
I got like 2 or 3 games, and then that was going to be it.
What is for all of you? What is the series that you were definitely too old for when it came out, but it still sucked you in?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, every step of the way. I watched Terminator 2 when I was 5. That's one of the reasons I keep pressing you. Like, I watched it when it came out.
That's like the opposite of the question, though. I feel like you weren't old enough for it, but you went.
Oh, we're too old for it.
Yeah, too old for it, but you still like, because it's easy to think.
My bad. I miss.
Where you're like, I'm getting away with something here.
How old are you, Woody?
I'm 50.
You're 50. I'm 43, so Thundercats was like my shit. Thundercats, Masters of the Universe. But like in my later years, like I think there was a gap where there wasn't any cartoons or something, because I don't remember anything else. On there's like this Pokemon thing.
I would have been 12 or under when I watched it. I wasn't too extreme, but I was too old.
Yeah, well, you guys, I never thought of. I only saw Thundercats like when it was replaying, like at my grandparents' house, and in my head, I always thought of like, because of the art style of like that and He-Man, I'm like, oh, this is kind of a bit more for adults. Like, like in my head, yeah, like
sophisticated,
a little. It's kind of a pinkies up, a little bit of subtext in there. Like, oh, what's Snarf up to? You know, what's he representing?
I hated Snarf. He ruined the show for me. He was the worst.
I promise you, no one knows what you're talking about. I have no idea what a Thundercat is.
You've never seen Thundercats? How have you not? You're older than me.
I don't know why you know what Thundercats are.
Because it was on satellite at my grandparents' house.
Panthro.
Yeah, I don't remember their names, but I
know about them because Andy dressed up as a Thundercat one episode of The Office. That's my entire.
Other people should go because I'm not the same age as most of our audience.
Yeah, what do you got, Kyle? Something you got into?
Harry Potter, maybe. Well, I don't know. I was like 12 when I found Harry Potter, maybe 13 or something. But then I was an adult when those books were coming out. I drove to the midnight release of one of those fucking books. So maybe that.
You have a lot of company as far as adults that like Harry Potter.
I did. Yeah, it's not fair, but I don't know. I've always been, careful so you're not playing with 13-year-olds because I don't want to curse in front of a 12-year-old.
Yeah, right.
I say things when I get mad at a game that I don't want to say in front of a 12-year-old.
If you're 13, you want a game of
duty.
I played COD. I played COD last year for up until Warzone or whatever, or DMZ released or whatever it was. I just got burnt out so fast. I mostly play single player stuff now, or like co-op games. I played a bunch of Diablo and a bunch of that 40K Smashy game, Darktide, and playing a bunch of Baldur's Gate right now. Doing a lot of co-op on that, but not COD. I'm not. I mean, I watch if I watch some videos and it's like, holy shit, that looks fun, I might jump in. It's I'm $80 away from being a COD player.
What would bring you back?
Nothing, probably.
Really?
Because the skill-based matchmaking, like I don't want to bitch about that, but it makes it so
pro or against?
Against, because my friends are too good for me to play with. Like it doesn't work. It's like I'm getting shit on. I can't keep a 1 KD because my friends are all beasts, like really, really good. Like they could have they could make YouTube videos if they wanted. They're styling on people, but I'm just getting drugged behind them, hiding in corners, trying not to get fucked. And when we play like objective game modes, now it's a problem because if we're losing because of me, so it really ruins it. I don't want to pub stomp. I just don't want to get in that situation necessarily. I just want a random lobby.
Interest in putting in enough time to be competent at it. So all I do is just get smashed. And like Kyle, if I were to play, especially if I stream or something, then people who watch streams will want to play with me, and I'm not there.
Yeah. So, when was the last time you feel like those skills were still in as well? Actually, Taylor, you want to answer yours?
Oh, I haven't played any of the CODs in a while, but the last pulled the team up was Modern Warfare 2, the original one in like 2012.
Yeah, 2010.
Like that was the last one, or 2010, 2011, whenever that was. That's when I felt like maybe Modern Warfare 3. That's when I started to play it less. But COD 4 and MW2 were the ones that I was far and away the best at.
So you didn't get a chance to play Remastered? Too.
I played a little bit of COD 4 Remastered. But I didn't play Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Like after the COD 4 Remastered, and like after 5 games, it's like riding a bike. I was like, oh, this is the nade shot on Showdown. We're 3 when this came out. They don't even know the nade spots. I'm getting
car explodes in the middle of the street. They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. They're like, oh, this game sucks. There's only 3 good guns, and then use those guns, idiot. Yeah. Like that's what I'm doing. M16 Red Dot, MP5, and M40A3. That's it.
All you needed.
See, I haven't played console since like Black Ops, maybe Modern Warfare 3. I guess that was probably the last game I played console on. Everything else has been on PC. So that's been a weapon. Mostly because I used to play console 8 hours a fucking day minimum, every fucking day. But when I play Tarkov,
take me back.
Grind it like it's my life. And I get pretty fucking good at that. I get pretty good at snapping on people and fucking controlling recoil. And I'll shit on groups sometimes. Like, you better, if they're not good, they're fucked. Like, they better be.
Are you good at streaks?
I haven't played Tarkov since I played the wipe it dropped, and I haven't. And then there was that video that exposed just how the percentage of cheaters in the average Tarkov lobby, and that was so discouraging. And then right before that, I had a moment in game where, to make a long story short, a hack. Like, it was I haven't played since then, so that's been a year now.
How about you, Hex? When was the last time you were really solid on the sticks with Call?
Modern Warfare Remastered, man. I played that game. I remember Fwiz and I played game battles matches and this was when he was at YouTube. We played like 13 hours one more because he gets up early. I get up till like 9 p.m. We didn't play with anybody else. We were just playing 13 hours straight, just gangster shit. And then after that, like it happens every year. Right around the same time when the lip ring comes in, we all get together. And we start playing some Old Men of Optic Call of Duty matches. We'll do showdowns. It's pretty cool. I still play it. I haven't been as passionate about it in the last 3 for sure.
When Old Men of Optic get in,
we get our shit kicked in Warzone most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, Warzone is the one that I can't get into. Now the smaller one I can get into, but the Warzone where you have to like go and fucking like literally walk like 3 miles to get into a fucking gunfight. Yeah, not my thing. You take a vehicle and all that stuff like that.
That's not COD. Like, they're trying to be something they're not.
Italian, right? I'm sorry. Battlefield.
Yeah, Battlefield I could never get into either because it's like this is a lot of running and listening to people on the radio.
Like, they can't decide if they want to copy Tarkov or Battlefield or just be themselves, and it's sort of this mishmash, or go futuristic with some goddamn
right, because they get blasted for just like reskinning last year's game.
Sure.
And then they get blasted for jetpacks, they get blasted for new movements, and that's just the community, I guess.
I just need less from a game. Like what I actually want from a game is like polish and good, functional, intuitive screens and controls and stuff. I want the network to be perfect. I don't want to be lagging out of games on opening night. And I don't ever want to feel like I got shit on and it wasn't my fault. I don't want to be like, God, what was that? Well, you see, this happened, and in that circumstance, he just gets to win. And you don't ratio, commie bastards. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't just keep that, but I don't care if I get to play as like Peacemaker. I don't need a finishing move where I like cap you in the ear and then spit in your asshole or something. I don't need I don't need any of that.
Me over.
Like, and that's the shit that's in the game, right? There's all sorts of fucking finishing, like a comic book character or something.
The nerve of them.
But they're like running around with the gun as like Ash Ketchum, and it's like, well, this seems. First of all, why would you pick a big bright character? I would pick like Solid Snake, someone who's sneaky.
Put our job in there. Go ahead and have fun with it. But I didn't like that stuff when Fortnite would do all that stuff. They'd have like Master Chief and all that. It's silly.
You don't like that stuff?
Not really.
If you saw Woody,
Mortal Kombat is awesome. What they've been doing, because that to me, that works for me. It's like having a multiversal.
Yeah,
like the Terminator fighting Rambo is sick, and you've got Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone coming to do the voice lines. And you know they got all the properties. I can't imagine. I don't think there's any property that they didn't.
Obviously in the beginning, right? Sega and all that stuff, but I feel like I'm conflicted with Call of Duty in terms of like what I would be okay with. Like, I don't want it to be too World War II, but I also don't want it to be too advanced, right? And I would be okay with Woody's costume right now being a skin in the game, but I would not be okay with I don't know, just fucking you name the thing that doesn't make it Call of Duty.
And we start being able to see through the walls, and when there's like 5 different versions of what I'll just call a Claymore. It's like there's so many things that I can place and then leave that are going to be a hazard or an encumbrance or a death trap. And I don't use the perk that gives me another one real quick. Mine, like I'm the piece of shit who abuses it. But at the same time, I hate having to play against it. I just want to shoot at people most of the time.
Yeah.
It's really about having fun with your friends, though. So if you
did you guys play Battalion 1944?
You don't have anything.
Battalion? What is that?
1944. Battalion 1944.
No.
you three would have 1000% loved that shit. It came out it was like 2019 game. It was Call of Duty 2-isk, but with a Counter-Strike sort of buy system or economy system, but it was also with the movement of Call of Duty 4. One of the best games, period, ever. Because it was more Call of Duty that year than Call of Duty was Call of Duty the last 10 fucking years. So I really fell in love with it. I got good at it, and I miss it. I wish it was still around. Good ranking system. All S&D, no anyone, because there's an element of strategy that it's not just run and gun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a lot less randomness. That it's like a real sport in that you reset from the same starting position and replay a scenario over and over to determine who's better at the game, quote unquote. You know, I've always loved search and destroy, especially competitive. Taking pictures with digital cameras for proof.
Oh no, the most fun I've ever had in Call of Duty was ground war domination, paying no attention at all to the objectives and going like 108-3 and being like afterward, just being like, everyone, we won because I am the ghost of Kiev back here, just absolutely slaughtering people. That was so much fun. Play the objective. It's like you don't want the 108 kill guy on your team? Really?
It's really tricky. I was always that objective guy.
Same.
And then I felt undervalued by someone who would just like
and Diesel and Fwiz
and fucking Cianers too, right? Because they just stay around the edge of Cianers, for example, did really well in. So let's give credit. But if you're playing domination, just staying at the edge of the map, going for kills, I'm not saying you're not helping your team. 102-3, good gosh, no, you're keeping. He's murdered everyone's kill streak on the other team. These guys can barely get a UAV. That's helping me, right? If you're 102-3, good God, you've done a great thing. But then there are these other guys going like 25-9, thinking they're hot shit, who didn't play the objective at all. And it's like, yeah, that almost 3 KD is not.
If you're down 168 to 171 and they've got 2 and you've got 1 and you're still like, I'm almost half my Harrier. It's like, no, you got to get on B, dude. Like we don't, that'll be embarrassing if you have a 9 KD and we lose, because then you do look like a goober.
Like what I was saying earlier is it's got to be fun for me to play with my friends. That's what's going to get me to play a game a lot and every day. And like, I'm thinking right now, like it'd be so much fun, Taylor. Like this is what it's like to play Tarkov, Taylor. Like you and I'd be like, Taylor, you want to play Tarkov? Like, yeah, okay. All right, what do you want to do? We'd pick a map. We'd look at our missions. We each have this list of missions. We compare, like, oh, I got 3 on this map. I got 2 on this map. And then we plot a fucking trail, this circle we've got to make through this map. There's players out there trying to kill us, and there's AI trying to kill us. We like build our kit. Like, oh, don't bring that helmet. No, you don't. Leave it at home. Put on a hat though. Put on a hat. Yeah. No sunglasses. No sunglasses. Like these are decisions that are important.
Which sunglasses are not an important decision.
Yeah. So there's a glitch where they glow in the dark, and you've got these white circles in the darkness, and it's like, oh, there he is. Aim between those. Pink. It gives you a really good headshot indicator in the dark.
Oh, do you need to hide? Because I'm on the UN mission where I need to dress up in bright blue. Here we go.
You can do that too. Yeah. I don't know. That it's the stakes to me. Like if that mission falls apart, like it'll be we'll write like a movie narrative as we go. Like you might die, but I'll be like, don't worry, Taylor, I'll get your gun back to you. I know you need this gun. And now it's like saving Taylor's gun, the story where I'm crawling through the bushes and they're throwing grenades.
You can't let me die because all 9 of my brothers already died in the Tarkov war. And the military is trying to get you to return me.
I like the low-key evaluation of your friend. Like, hey, Kyle, do you want me to get your gun out for you? Yeah, Woody, why don't you just throw it in the bushes for me? That's fine. I'll take it in insurance.
I need something like that. And COD's usually the opposite of that. Although it seems like last year I had to be shooting SMGs and LMGs and shotguns just to get like my red dot from my AR. And that was frustrating.
Yeah, my brother complained about that. He was like, I just want to use these 3 guns, but they're making me use everything to unlock like the only usable reticle.
And if you're not good like me, because you're playing with fucking Scum and Vovity, then it's hard to get 150 kills with that gun. That's gonna take 2 nights.
Yeah, you got to party up with your boy.
What would he do against the pros? Like that guy is really
hard
good
for a different reason.
What guy?
His name is Vlavity. He's a PKA fan, and I mean, I think he might have been like top 5 in kills 2 years ago, like in the world. Like he's very, very good. And I would see him just do 1v1s against people who were very good and smoke them. And I was just like, how good is he? Like, how far is he from, I don't know, someone on one of your teams? Hard to say.
Very good.
The fact that this has been going on for 10 years and we still don't have a path to pro, for somebody who is interested in the team because you have something to offer, there has to be some merit to the ranking system that actually values, that actually gives you value externally, right? Because you can play and be number one fucking pub stomper all day long, but once you get into even with a challengers team that all they do is play competitively with the being good at this thing, and let's see where it takes me.
That's interesting. I never thought about like how you would get onboarded onto a professional gaming squad. Like in your ideal world, obviously you're very involved in it. How would you construct it to kind of encourage people down that road?
Well, I mean, a ranking system that's universal across all Call of Duties going forward.
But I mean, in the real world, how would somebody do it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. If
oh no, I thought you were saying this is what the world needs.
Well, Call of Duty for sure.
Based on what the world is today, how you become a pro.
Yeah, I think it starts with that, right? It starts with having a platform or a plug-in to Call of Duty that's always there, and it will always be the same from a ranking perspective. You win 1, you get +2, or you know what I'm saying?
This doesn't exist, right?
No, it doesn't exist. And if it doesn't,
so what I'm asking, I'm not asking it well, I think, is, hey, let's ignore what we wish the world was. Let's talk about what the world is today. I've decided I'm going to be a pro. I'm going to get my old ass back on a fucking
now I see.
Controller with the paddles in the back. I forget the name, and try to be a pro. How do I do this? Just charm members of Optic or Envy or something?
It wouldn't happen. It just would not happen because there's a lot at risk, right? Their jobs are at risk. There's only 12 teams, right? So the level of good that you have to be in order to stay on a team to be considered a professional Call of Duty player nowadays is crazy. Like we're losing a lot of big names that should be staples in this thing because there just isn't a program that's available. So now to answer your question, sorry, you play in challengers and you hope that you make a good enough name and then you play the social game of, all right, I got to leave these 3 in a manner in which they don't know that I'm leaving until it's too late so that they don't themselves try to put themselves in my position. And, there's a myriad of different ways to do this, but right now there isn't anything that I believe is solid enough for this to have the proper future that it needs.
All right. Okay. Do you think is there any internal desire from Call of Duty to change that? Or do they not see pro gaming as a big enough piece of their goal?
To be honest, it's been a disappointing experience, man, to be honest. Because this isn't new, right? Like I think, Call of Duty and competitive Call of Duty, as you guys know, was a thing all the way up until like 2016 or 2015, 2016. Like anybody, us 4 or us 5 can go to an MLG event and play, right? And then there's a level of aspiration there because all you have to do is have your $400 to pay for your team pass, have somebody help with the travel and stuff, but the competition is all that mattered. And you got to see how good you were or who on your team needed to be replaced to get your team to the next level, et cetera, et cetera. And now it's like all of that is sort of gone, right? Like there's this like sort of all-encompassing only one way to do things, and you can only play Call of Duty here exclusively. And tournaments aren't as plentiful as they were back in the day, and that to me is an unfortunate scenario. Like I said, like we're losing a lot of like good players that have a longer career ahead of them, but there's no way for them to continue down that path because of what it is.
I have a question.
Yeah.
All right. Let's say we got this pro COD team, right? 4 of us are on it, and we play this weekend. We didn't do as well. You're muted, Kyle. We didn't do as well as we hoped because I sucked.
Oof.
What are the signs I'm looking for that my team is low key booting me off?
Me and Kyle booing you.
Am I like not invited to dinner with the boys that night?
Yeah, that's why.
Airing your tires when you leave.
People do that.
We only got a
get
reservation for
treatment?
3.
Yeah, looking at the activity of your thread with those teammates is like the number one thing. If all of a sudden it's kind of dead.
Oh, what's your thread? Is that
like your group chat, your team
group
chat?
Yeah.
Is this the phone? What
yeah, anything. Yeah,
okay, WhatsApp, Discord. It would be all of us like, Kyle, did you practice Betty spots? And you'd be like, no, I think I know it. And we'd be like in our side chat, like, this motherfucker. It's like, you caught me. I haven't been practicing.
That's caught 5 shit.
Yeah, I think that's the number one telltale. Right, telltale.
When things seem to go a little silent. It's not silent.
A little silent. Unfortunately, you know what? It sucks. I mean, it sucks, dude.
It must be cool on the other side. I don't know what's going down, but I know it's not going down.
Everybody usually knows.
Thank you for including me.
No, even in this fantasy version, Woody, you're still barely making the cut into this new team.
Co-conspirator number 4 in your own fantasy.
Yeah. You're gonna have the blame hung on you. That's like Dwight when he has a second life where he's also an assistant manager.
Yeah.
Well, he had a second life, and then he is in his fantasy he was the co-owner of a bed and breakfast in hell. Like you're the co-owner, not even the owner.
So are the players leaving? Like they're still in professional gaming. They're just getting drawn to the games that are paying more.
I mean, that was a thing, but I think first-person shooters in console, and like everybody plays on PCs now, they just plug in a controller to it. But I think, you know, those sort of players like don't often just go somewhere else to find a job. I mean, the most recent one has to be like Formal, who obviously retired from Call of Duty, and then within 6 months he was
laid out those cool accomplishments. What are we taking home, like sponsorships aside, like if you win those 3 big events, like
a lot of merch.
I don't know.
Are we talking about like ballpark, like $7,000 or 70 grand or 700 grand?
70, like 70, 120, 150 per
each per.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, that's crazy money. Okay.
Plus salaries, right? Plus sponsorship opportunities. Like
obviously,
yeah. I mean, you know, you guys know. I think that if you know any of you wanted to like, you know, sort of like give it a side as like a run again on the side, I think they would be super good. Yeah, that's the earnings from 154 tournaments.
Oh, that's Matthew crazy. Formal Piper, Halo player, total prize money earned $1,183,000.
Money college since in 10 years.
Okay, so he's making $100 grand a year in this.
And
10 grand a tournament.
Yeah, and that's not including his sponsorships. And there must be a lot more big ones.
Maybe talking shit.
Because he said like, or on there it said like world ranking, like 124 or something. So like not even top 100, and he's made 7 figures in his career, which prorated still.
Yeah, I mean, look up Scumps, and then I'll make a comment on that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know who that guy is. He's an unbelievably famous game. I don't know. I think he was Call of Duty, right?
Yeah, he is still. Yeah, well, he just retired, but like
he just retired. Scump retired.
Yes, last year. Yeah, Scump retired last year.
How old is he?
28.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Let's say hypothetically you're a 28-year-old professional Call of 17. Why would he probably? What's that?
I mean, he's presumably has a large social media like platform, right? And he goes to these shows where there's fangirls and stuff. You don't go on Tinder. You don't need to go on Tinder. It's like why we're not going fishing anymore. Like we could just go to the store.
Why? He's a professional. Maybe he's like, is there a professional Tinder player on here?
Well, you know, my bro is a really handsome dude. You know what I'm saying? So that aside, right? But that right there, you saw 1.1 as his earnings throughout his entire career. That is not. You know, that's like only one of his incomes, right? And maybe sometimes it comes, you have to win, you have to be placed top 4 to make some cash in that. So, you know, obviously you guys know the influencer economy because we were part of the, you know, version 1 of that, right? Like we were there from the fucking jump. So, you know,
earnings might be a quarter of it.
To be able to pay bills by doing something way easier and fun, right, than it is to the stress of having to be better than somebody else on a specific day, which is our number 1 goal all the time. But if you don't have like that side hustle, you don't have, if you don't have your brand right, where your YouTube's doing great, your Twitch is doing great if you're doing that, and then obviously your merch and your sponsorships, like
What about make them play one of those like reaction games? You know, that game where you click all the bubbles as fast as you can. I've seen Shroud do it. Looks like a machine's working those fucking bubbles.
Yeah, I've seen monkeys do it.
They had this like accuracy clicky game.
Yeah,
tiny bubbles appear on the screen randomly, faster and faster, and it's an
Aim Lab.
training
That's
game.
what it's
Yeah.
called.
Oh, there's a bunch of them. I don't know specifically which one, but yeah.
Aim Lab I think is the best because it allows you to pick the game.
Ooh, okay.
I think yeah, I don't use it because I'm obviously very talented already.
Of course.
Yeah.
What's the point, right?
Plus, you know, when you're that good, you don't want to be
Broke the mold.
Yeah, that'd be bragging.
Yes,
You don't want to brag.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so I have a friend, he flies paramotor, and he's a big deal on Instagram. He makes entertaining short videos. He has a check mark next to his name. I have another friend who explained to me that check mark on Instagram is a clout that you can convert into dates. And I'm like, really? Because is that true?
What age group are we talking about? These gentlemen?
He's probably 28.
And yes, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Then that is
So they're you know, if you're, yeah, of course, you know, like, but
You're either
presumably
it's not obvious to me because like here's my background. When I was like 17 or something, I became a lifeguard on the beach. And
the beach right
17-year-old
behind
girls,
you, or
yeah. So 17-year-old girls think lifeguards are the bomb, right? The coolest. And suddenly they're like, this is actually a person who's just hovering around minimum wage. He's no longer the coolest guy on this beach. Get me a CPA. I've got needs over here. And those are the guys pulling bitches, obviously.
accountants.
So yeah. So I was wondering, like, hey, what happens when you're like a 28-year-old influencer, pro gamer? What is this dating
the world's
world
your
like now?
oyster, my man.
Okay.
The world is your oyster, especially if you know how to talk, right?
Like what do you like? Remember when there were tons of teenage boys that wanted to do dual comms with you that you had no interest in?
Yeah,
it's like that, except it's pretty girls that want to suck your dick. It's exactly like that. Like literally, you can go into Instagram and it's like, here's 25 or 30 more like really hot chicks who want to suck my dick, like right now,
because they're pro gamers.
Yeah, well, they don't care that you're good at the game. They don't give a fuck.
Because you have reach and influence, and
because you're famous.
Success.
Because you have like because oh my god, did you see that? Young Gravy follows him on Cumsquatch.
You don't have a Cumsquatch account?
Yeah, that's where it's at, man.
What is Cumsquatch?
Cumsquatch.
If you have to ask, you don't know.
That's true. A lot of things.
I saw someone write the other day, like, dude, I don't think I'm that old, but everything looks like this to me. And it's like, Coom Dizzle does a quick quack with Jane Quickie. It's the same shit. Because I don't know who Young Gravy is. I'm sorry. But I know it's a real thing. I doesn't know he's a real person.
Yeah, I know that's a guy.
Like a rapper?
I don't know if he's a gamer or a rapper or a.
I gotta say, like, there's something so soft about rapper names. Like modern rapper names are always soft. It's always some silly shit with some numbers and letters.
Yeah, back in my day with Ice Cube and Eazy-E, they were tougher.
Vanilla Ice inspired fear in all who would see him.
Right?
All right. Vanilla Ice is picking the clown
MC
of rap.
Hammer scared St. Louis.
Yeah, that's true. The Hammer Murder
kind of
inspired
entirely. That's more like hip
hop. Ghostface Killer,
cool
Raekwon. You know what I'm saying? Method Man, more mystical names.
Exhibit.
You know, Busy Bone.
Yeah,
like tough. I think the rappers have never been that tough.
Well, what are the? Like,
I mean, some of them are actual criminals, right? Like they just have solved Tupac's murder.
Okay. Actually, you're right. They're very tough.
Like 50 Cent was a criminal, right? I'm pretty sure he had people killed.
I'm pretty sure he's got a bunch of gun or bullet wounds.
Yeah, and then he had those people killed
on his face.
There is a famous rapper right now whose name is Baby Keem. So that's
any relation to Keemstar?
I don't know. It's an intro. This is AI written. My God. Chief Keef. I remember him.
Yeah, I did Chief Keef. Chicago.
Lil Durk.
I got the impression.
No, I don't know him. I know one song maybe. That's like younger. Like that's the Embos. Embos is the one that.
It didn't seem impossible that he was like an Optic fan or something. Like it could have happened.
Oh no, like Embos knows those dudes. Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to talk about that shooting in Maine today because it was wild. Like, I guess the guy's like
still at large.
National Guard Reserve or something. It happened yesterday or last night. He's like a firearms instructor. First, he went into a bowling alley and shot a bunch of people there. And then he left there and he went to a bar grill, shot a bunch of people there. And then they found his car at a boat ramp, you know, where you put your boat in the water. And that's all they know. But it's pretty fucked up. The bowling alley, I saw a story from a guy that was there. He's like, I heard the shot and I turned around and saw the guy with the gun. He's like, I just split. He ran down the bowling lane and dove in where the pins are, back into the mechanism, and climbed up into the machinery and hid there until the guy left. And I thought that was the coolest story. And the news reporter didn't have a fucking follow-up question. It was like, stick with this guy. Get Anderson Cooper on the line. This is a whole movie. It was so cool to me that he went in. Because I'm kind of scared. I don't want to get shot. I know that's going to, you're going to look rough. But yeah, I don't know for sure that I can dive.
You're in the danger zone.
Clearly. Back behind those bowling pins could be like a thresher of blades and spinning implements for all I know. But he dove in there, saved himself that way. And then the guy went to a bar and grill, and like, it's bad enough to go into a bar. Cornhole championship night at that bar and grill.
No.
Was the first word
the deaf?
Okay.
He shot up a deaf meeting.
Oh, deaf. Yeah, that says a lot about me.
Cornhole championship for deaf people, those who are hearing impaired. Deaf.
Did he know that? Do they think? I guess they don't know because they don't know what.
That bar and grill. I know he killed the manager, so you're just guessing, but maybe
before they turn around and see him.
God damn it, Woody.
That's probably not it. It's probably so he was hiding in a bowling alley, and then he
walked up into those places.
Hold on, Hex knows more than we do about the situation. What is it?
No. I was just going to reiterate what he said. That's exactly what happened. He slid down the lane and then climb up. He said that he couldn't hear even the gunshots because all the mechanisms up there were so loud that he didn't know what was like that. So he was just, dude, what are you doing in a situation like that?
Badass. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was a heavier dude too, right?
Came out. Like Sean Hannity said that if anyone tried that news, I watched.
He didn't say that.
Yeah, he did. He said he'd been training. He said he'd been training MMA, and God forbid he ever has to use his skills. He's a 61-year-old multimillionaire. He can't beat anybody up. He's soft hands. I know.
I bet he could beat up a 62-year-old.
Okay, touche.
Man's got a hell of a hairline. First of all,
I might argue that Sean Hannity is tougher than most 61-year-olds, but that's the tallest midget at the fair.
Tough as nails.
That's true.
I wouldn't want to have any fisticuffs with Sean Hannity. That hairline tells me that he is a high T individual. Okay, with good genetics.
Is it a good hairline?
Are you kidding?
Low T?
If
it's low DHT for sure, like genetic reacting to it genetically well, I guess.
If Sean Hannity kicked my ass, I got some of that Fox News money.
Yeah,
and so
there's a lot there.
That would be worth it.
I think anybody who says stuff like that is pretty tone deaf. It's like, if I was there, I'd fucking kung fu fighter that guy. It's like you probably just get blasted in the face and you go out like a match in the wind, dude.
There's a gun, and Matt keeps saying like, you wouldn't be able to get me. I would dodge the bullets and slice you, bro. And Charlie's just like, click, 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 click. Like, see, it's so easy, dude. It's so easy to shoot you. There's a reason that guns are so popular because they are like
they're the overwhelming choice
weapon
of American mass murderers.
They make knives look like bitches when it comes to fighting. A knife has nothing on a gun. No matter how good you are at throwing it, shurikens, nothing can take down the gun in a planned fight.
If I threw my knife at you, I know I'd just be giving you my knife.
Yeah.
It's a terrible strategy.
It'd be like there'd be no. I'd be like, ah! and then hopefully,
although if somebody throws a knife, if somebody throws a knife at me, I'm giving them credit for being a ninja or a samurai of some kind. I'm not putting that past them. I'm assuming that he can put that thing between my eyes. So I think you should shoot anyone who's throwing knives.
Depends how many knives the assailant has. If he has like a whole handful of knives,
he's in a kitchen.
Then I'm like, this guy knows what he's doing. But if he just has one
if he's
knife,
holding them like a circus performer.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're
if he's
fanned out in his hand.
Yeah.
All right. If he's got technique, then I'm running.
Like, this guy's dangerous. He's humming like the da, 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 da,
he's juggling the blades.
Have you guys thrown axes?
I have. Yeah, it's not as hard. Yeah, I thought it would be harder. Everyone's like, oh, it's hard to get it to stick. It's like, no, it's because you're throwing it like a fucking simian gorilla retard. Don't throw it hard. Just get it to rotate one time. Just focus on one rotation. It doesn't matter how slow it is. It's a fucking axe. It's going to use that inertia and stick. Yeah. So just don't, like, when you see people fuck that up, it's because they're trying to, you know, Goliath it into the wall. And that's not how you do it. You just do it all right.
Look, I beat Jackie every game. Some kind of a big deal.
Men.
Dude, they can't compete. That's why the professional.
Yeah, I didn't play against any.
Me and Jackie. Game 2 was Jackie and I.
World
we played 3 games.
You sweeper and you don't play the third.
I've only done that once. The axe thing. Not my thing. I
had fun. The idea of axe throwing after like 30 or 40 minutes, I was like, I don't think we need the whole hour, to be honest with you. I'm kind of axed out. There was the group next to us, and they didn't do anything wrong. They were having a blast. But ever be next to a group that's laughing, like screaming, and they're just cheering each other on with every throw. I was like, you guys are very excited about this. This is not that exciting. And
alcohol would mix well with this place. I want one side of the
bar. Are you kidding? That's the last place.
Terrible idea.
That's the last place I went. No, that's the last place the only place I've ever gone axe throwing was an axe throwing sports bar, and it has like a big giant cage on the side that you go and you open up, and there's like 5-6 lanes, and you go in there and you throw your axes, and then you go out and you eat your jalapeno poppers and have a beer. Like and you're right.
They allow drunk people to throw axes.
They do. They do allow it.
The place that I
remember some of the people I was standing next to. There's like a gate in between. It's like a batting cage where like
they overserve you and you fucking scalp your girlfriend. Like they're in so much trouble.
I mean,
no, that's crazy.
The waiver, I guess, is
waivers are mostly horse shit. And when you get to court, I've found, and I'm pretty sure if they overserve you, they always take that very seriously.
Yeah,
like if you can, you've got your blood alcohol level like to the decimal point right after you scalp your girlfriend, and I think you're in a lot of trouble.
I don't recall anybody being like blackout hammered when I was doing it a few years ago, but like. I doubt if some guy is like stumbling. He's like, I want to do the axe. Like there's no way they let that guy.
The group next to us, you know what drunk is right? Like when you like over celebrate your friends. Like Taylor returns to the restroom and we're all like, Taylor, you the man. And it's like, you guys might be drinking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that sounds kind of nice.
It is nice.
How was your piss? Pretty good, boys. Pretty good.
I left an
if I'm going to do something like that, I'd rather go paintball and indoor or somewhere like that. Like if I'm going to do that sort of like aim or something that has target in it, I'd rather do that.
True. I would rather do paintball also.
You know what's fun? Laser tag. Laser tag is fun. It's a little more dangerous than you think because like you're running really quick and the other people are 7, so you can hurt them.
Everyone else is 7, and so you're just like running behind a kid, never letting his vest reset. Just
yes. Oh my god! If you're trying to get the highest score, that's how you do it.
Yeah, you just find some poor kid, and you're like, you're gonna have. Here begins a bad memory for you, son. And you just trail them. Don't let their vest reset. But yeah, I haven't laser tagged since I was a kid, so I don't think I'd want to jump back to that.
I laser tagged with Woody like 6, 7, 8 years ago, maybe. It was interesting. Today I rewatched that fight, the John Jones Chael Sonnen fight. I found this Russian YouTube channel that has all the greatest fights on it for free on YouTube.
That was one of the greatest. Okay,
that's not the greatest. It depends on your measure, right? All of the big ones. It was a big event. It was on there, and I think the fight's 7 minutes long. Gets right to the point. I didn't remember him bullying Chael quite so much and it being such a boring fight. They clinched against the fence for minutes at a time and he towered over Chael. Clearly, the 2 weight classes between them, clearly.
I heard Chael tell the story and he's like, I'm in there. I'm on 6 to 1 or 205 and, apply my trade there. It's like, and then I tried to move John Jones on 6 steroids simultaneously, and he didn't move at all. So I thought, I know your secret. You're on steroids too. That's how he tells the story. So nothing went his way.
Yeah, I like when he talks about someone asked recently if he was ever afraid or something like that. He's like, well, I'll say this. You don't always go out and think you're going to win. Really? Oh, yeah. When I went out to fight John Jones, I knew it was going to be a rough night.
Really? That's a big compliment.
He knew he couldn't beat John Jones. Yeah, because it was
he still talks shit about John Jones all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Knowing that his nose is only straight because John Jones allows it to be so. Right? Like,
yeah. He keeps John Jones promoted. Like I think they're buddies. I think they're buddies. I think Chael Chael's like an old school WWF guy. The way he plays that sort of heel and all that crazy wrestling gamesmanship. Like he wants to tell a story, and everything is veiled with some sort of gamesmanship when he makes a video. He knows how to pronounce those people's names.
Oh yeah,
he knows. Okay, like it's part of a bigger game. He wants you to correct him in the comments. That's how the algorithm works, dummy.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, you're 100% right. He is absolutely doing this. He's always playing the meta game. Even the insults, like you said, he knows what he's up to. And like he'll talk about being a guy who's ranked like 9th at the time and pretending he's one of the 2 or 3 vying for a title because that's his friend. He did it all the time.
Yeah, I really enjoy Chael.
Of sports. Hex, I know you're a Rangers fan. Did you get to throw out a first pitch?
I did last year.
That's
around this time.
You threw out a first pitch?
Yeah, I did.
At like a real baseball game?
Yeah, me and Scump with the Rangers. And then most recent 2 jerseys. The first one was better than the second one, in my opinion. But on the second one for Optic Night at the Rangers ball club at the Rangers Stadium against the Houston Astros this year, we had the word mark of Optic like on the mound, so it was like on TV the entire time. Yeah, that was the first time. That's me and Scump were jumping right there.
Who had the better pitch, you or Scump?
Him. But
he's athletic.
But he was well. I'm not. But look,
there's no shame in losing to Scump. How's that?
No. He was like in front of the mound. I was like right on parallel to where I was supposed to be throwing from.
Oh, he cheated.
I shouldn't have thrown a curveball. That was on me. Right? And that's what happened.
I would be so nervous to throw out a first pitch. Like I would be thinking about that nonstop the whole day before and that whole day leading up, just being like, don't make an ass of yourself. Get it there. Just
Did you
get it there.
Practice a lot, Hex?
No, I mean, but you got to remember, like Woody and I grew up in a place where everybody had to play every sport. You had to be good at every fucking sport, period. You couldn't just be good at soccer. You had to be good at basketball.
Yeah, you warm up a little.
No, no. I did loosen up the arm 100%. Like the day before, I was like throwing.
I haven't thrown a baseball in years. I wouldn't want to spend like a couple days throwing one in the backyard with somebody.
No,
like, sure.
The guy that sold me this house was the next pitcher. And we kept in contact with him, and I'm like, yo, you still have that your baseball thing? And I'm like, we're gonna come out and make a video. Like I was practicing, to promote the Rangers, the Optic Night at the Rangers. But yeah, this is we just did it again tonight. That would be cool.
That's awesome.
I have double vision, so I will never be good at baseball, and because of that, I'm to change that situation. And shit, I think if I practiced for a week solid, I could
100%
become a lot less embarrassing.
Listen, if another
I want it to look like what happened was what I meant to happen.
Yeah,
dude, I'm gonna listen. If we just did a shooting video, an NBA 2K basketball video, yeah, that's the recent one. But it was a basketball video. I kicked those. I'm half there. They're half my age, and I beat their ass just like
there it is.
Just nice. shooting contest. Something simple. But yeah, they don't grow up playing sports. You know what I mean? Like they grow up playing something else, and their coordination isn't as fluid as it was back in the 90s. 90s is the greatest time period in the history of mankind.
That's when we peaked.
Yes. That's true. That's when Seinfeld was coming out.
Yeah, dude, think about it, right? Think about that era. Like everything was new, everything was being created. Music, the bands. You think about hip hop. You think about like pop culture. Like it all happened like in the 90s.
Yeah,
I think I would have liked the 60s.
Movies,
right? A little
90s.
Van life, ass grass or cash, right? Just spend a year or two in your 20s not being productive.
Fuck that.
I think of that as more pre-90s.
Right now is the best time to be alive. Like right fucking now, this second, and tomorrow will be better. And that hasn't changed in so long. Whenever I love when they show they'll poll people. What do you think about crime these days? Oh, it's so much more dangerous than it used to be. And then they show crime, and it's been better every year, forever, every year. Like there might be a stutter step. I'm sure the pandemic was a weird time where crime went violently down.
It's gone up the past few years, but overall, you're right. Like it's so much lower, I think, almost everywhere than it was in like the 70s.
In like the early 80s, I was going to say. So we're about
like a crime wave in the 80s, right?
That's because everyone was it was cool.
Maybe the 70s, because that's when you had the Charlie Bronson movie, right? When they rape his wife and daughter. And
Warriors is the peak of that stuff to me. That's the scariest thing.
You were saying that
gangs that dress up like, obviously, I don't know, themable gangs and shit. The names of them, but the baseball bats have always been the scariest thing for me.
Oh, they were scary.
Their name was the baseball bats?
No, they might have
baseball bats?
They dressed like Yankees, and they had baseball bats and face paint. Yeah. And they were all athletic, and they attacked you with baseball bats. And here you are, good at street fighting, and there's a team of people with baseball bats. It's a problem.
Yeah, that beats.
But the Cowboys would have been the real standout.
Yeah, the Cowboys would have been a bigger
with their
problem.
Pistols.
There weren't a lot of gun gangs. There were girls on roller skates. They'd be a total non-issue. You're like, what are you thinking? Boys on roller skates aren't tough. Girls on roller skates, get the fuck out of here. I could just tip you over.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to be on roller skates for your gang.
In the face,
I give up the gang life. Got kicked by one of those skate gals. Nasty deep thigh bruise.
Was it like roller derby bitches? Like her name's like Meg or
I think they were
Mog.
dressed roller derby. Like
Maud.
Like I'm like in a room or something. I am mixed. It's been a while.
Is this
I've never seen that.
Yeah, Warriors from the 80s. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna go back in time.
Young Woody found it really scary.
I actually said 90s was the best for movies. What are your top 90s movies?
Oh my god, Heat, one of them for sure. I mean,
when did Starship Troopers come out?
Yeah, that one's fucking great.
That's early 2000s. That's like
no, 1998. Starship Troopers, 1998.
Oh,
are you right or are you guessing?
Let me come up with it. I bet. Oh, was it 97?
Yeah.
I thought it was. I watched it with my dad in theaters. I remember that. I would have been 11. I think.
I really enjoyed that movie. I'm told it didn't do the books justice, but
I was laughing because you're like 1997. I would have been 11, I think, and it's like, what do you mean you think? Like it's born in 86. Like do
a little math there. Like I don't know what month it came out. Taylor, there's a big difference between a 10-year-old and an 11-year-old.
Cool, not everyone knows 97 minus 86. That's not a thing that people just know.
No, I think it is.
It's incalculable. I'm pretty sure.
Kyle puts himself back in the math knowledge of himself at the time.
Here are other good movies that came out in 1997. Okay. Total Recall is one.
I think that was Braveheart. Did Braveheart come out in 97?
Braveheart came out in Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone. You know, like the Stargate was really good back in the day. I mean, this was all new shit.
These are all bad movies.
Braveheart was not a bad.
I've seen them all, and I like them all, but I like them because I like nerdy sci-fi. They don't have good acting, or they're weak in one like key facet. Like if they were a Fallout character, you'd be like, "Whoa, you skipped intelligence altogether. What happened?" Like the Stargate movie, which I like way better than the Secretary. He's anyway that good actor. And the premise is cool. They go through this interdimensional portal that they dug up in Egypt that takes you to another planet that is like the father race of the Egyptian like culture. So they've got pyramids there too, because they taught the Egyptians how to make pyramids. And so it's a sci-fi, they immediately somehow are able to communicate with the human slave people there and form an uprising. They arm them. They overthrow the evil Egyptian space people. And then Kurt Russell,
the first try.
It's a little dark though, because it begins with Kurt Russell or some shit. And then Kurt Russell is like Army Colonel guy about to off himself, and he gets the call. We found an Egyptian interdimensional portal, sir. We need you. And he like shakes off all that depression, buttons his fucking uniform up, and goes off with James Spader to another dimension. And no one calls him on it. There's no psychological evaluation.
They caught him like gun in his mouth, and then he was like, all right, if you have a mission,
I haven't seen the movie in a coon's age, but the way I remember it is like he's about to eat the fucking pistol, and they like ring his phone or knock on the door, and he's like, what? I'm busy in here. And they're like, we need you. And he just goes off and
dude, if he has a gun in his mouth and like an annoying knock at the door, wouldn't you? Other thing.
Yeah. What did you guys think about Maverick?
Oh, the movie, Tom Cruise.
I haven't seen it.
The new one or the old one?
The new one.
I liked it.
You didn't love it?
I didn't love it. I loved it. I thought that Goose sang back in the day, and it looks over the top cheesy for me. I also thought, and this is some nitpicky shit.
Over the top, great movie also.
Stallone's arm wrestling flick.
Yeah.
I also thought that it was a little silly that they made it seem like you had to do this hot dog maneuver that only one man on the planet could do to get a bomb in a hole. And as an American, I promise you, we have many ways to put bombs in holes. And that doesn't involve hot dog maneuvers from Tom Cruise. It could if we wanted it to. We just don't need to. I guarantee you, we got like 8 or 9 different ways of putting a bomb in that hole just the way it needed to go. So that takes me out of it a little bit. But I love Tom Cruise. I love the music. I liked him on that fucking motorcycle. I like the roof blowing off at the beginning when he's that piece of shit ruins that research and development program that was probably multiple billions of dollars because he wants to go to Mach 11 or whatever. I liked it, but I didn't love it because
I thought it was great. I watched that shit back-to-back days.
I did. Last movie, the Tarantino flick, I watched that back-to-back. Like I watched it and I was like, you want to watch that shit again? And my dad was like, roll it back. And we watched that shit twice.
The same day?
Yeah, like back to back. I started it over.
yeah, that's great. That's great. I love when people don't give those a shot. I love when that happens.
That was the last time I can remember.
3-2.
The whole time you think that Sharon Tate is gonna get butchered. That Margot Robbie, in essence, because she's playing Sharon Tate, is gonna get butchered by these pieces of shit, these hippie scumbags, these filthy, dirty-footed Walmart white trash, brainwashed scum who don't deserve to eat her trash are going to go dead baby blood. And you're just dreading it. I'm sitting there upset that that's coming because I know how it ends, because I know how it actually went. And then history diverts. And I realize we're in the Tarantino universe. I remember that. Of course we are. This is where World War II ended, with a Tommy gun shootout and some Jews suicide bombing the Fuhrer. Like that's what happened. And that's what went down in the Tarantino universe. It's a different world. And I was exuberant watching Brad Pitt and his pit bull massacre, maim, and destroy the Manson family. And then you get, and just when I was like sore from laughing and cheering, you get to Leonardo DiCaprio, and I know he's going to get the flamethrower out. I'm just like, get the flamethrower. And when he does, he just shows up and burns that already blind, massacred bitch alive. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I haven't enjoyed a movie that much since then. It was so great. I loved it.
There's a good, it's not martial arts show that I just started watching. It got recommended to me on TikTok. And looking good. It's in Korean. I mean, you can put it in English, but I watched it in Korean with the subtitles. It was
usually better.
Have you guys seen it? Bloodhounds?
I have not.
I've never heard of it.
Watch the first episode. Yeah. And you know what's crazy? It's fucking gruesome. It's so good.
I like the Korean horror movies they have on there. They have good shit.
I haven't watched a lot of Korean stuff, but what I have watched, I've always liked. I've watched a few Korean horrors, and I love that train from Busan to Busan. I thought that was really good. But so this is on Netflix, you said?
Netflix, yeah. Bloodhounds.
Let me write it down in my old-timey notebook.
There it is.
Bloodhounds. I'll have to check that out. I'm looking for something new to watch.
I hope that you guys like it as much as I did, but as you guys just heard, I loved Top Gun Maverick. So I'm really good at separating logic from reality when watching these things. So when it's really bad, it really fucking it's got to be like the worst thing ever. Like the movie fucking Driven. Holy fuck, that is the worst acted movie I've ever fucking seen. Sylvester Stallone. He's a Formula One driver.
Yep, Sharon Stone.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, so bad.
It's garbage. He made a lot of them. Sylvester Stallone is a terrible actor. He's just bad, and
he is.
No,
you like Rambo? I love Rambo. The last 2 Rambos were fucking great.
And Rocky 2, to some lesser extent, obviously. Good movies, great movies. Rocky won original screenplay Oscar or something like that. That he wrote the fucking thing. And then Rambo, I like Rambo. First Blood is great. I don't really like the next ones. They're just kind of schlock. They're machine gunning Vietnamese people, and I can get down with that. I made videos about that.
Isn't that what the whole first one is?
No, the first one, we've discussed this before, but only one person dies in the first one, and it's an accidental death. The first one is about a Vietnam vet being bullied by law enforcement and going into a PTSD episode and fleeing into the forest. And the whole time, Rambo was begging to avoid confrontation, and they're chasing him, constantly dogging him through the forest, trying to force him to kill them, basically. And then he snaps at the end, and like in the book, he kills himself. But we needed sequels. So in the book, in the movie, he cries and his colonel hugs him and he goes to prison. That's how Rambo First Blood is. Man, these days he makes junk. He just made Expendables 4. I think Ronda Rousey's in that shit or something. Like, come on, he's making bad movies.
I think Sylvester Stallone's in his mid-70s.
He's got a TV show right now where he's a retired gangster who just got out of prison, and he's like living in the modern world. And he's strong arms dispensary guy. He goes in, he's like, he
should be president.
He looks big.
You should. Yeah, after you can run the world.
Won't be the first time.
Yeah. Worked with Reagan. He
moved from Home Alone to the White House.
That's true. Trump was, I wouldn't give him too much credit for the success of Home Alone 2. Trapped in New York. What is it? Caught in New York?
Lost in New York.
It was a very close election. There's no telling. He probably wouldn't have won without his Home Alone 2 fame.
That's what got me in 2016. I'm like, the Home Alone guy. Like, what
if I need direction somewhere? We got to keep him in power.
Yeah. Yeah. Sylvester Stallone should probably. Speaking of older actors, he's not even as old as Sylvester Stallone, but I saw it today. Verbal now. Yeah, like he can't.
Verbal.
Yeah, like he can't communicate verbally. He can't read.
Finally, the movies end. Good.
Wait. Taylor, did you see him at his birthday party? Is that what you saw?
I saw an article today that was like his frontal dementia, whatever subtype of is that. Like aphasia is the first thing.
Diagnosis. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like now he has like full blown dementia. Like he can't fully understand language. Like he can't read anymore. It's really sad.
Saw him at his birthday party. They brought the cake out, and he was talking, and he was like excited, but it was almost like
I'll tell you,
cake.
He kept making those movies, and it was upsetting. They call them geezer teasers, where they have like a $4 million budget, and he usually sits in a chair through most of it, or gets CGI'd into some space uniform or something.
It's a good thing he did all that.
Can't remember his lines anymore.
Movie?
His best movie as far as performance, or like my favorite movie? My favorite movie might be Die Hard with a Vengeance, which is Die Hard 3.
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson and him pair up. So that's a good one. Die Hard 2 should just be removed because 1 and 3 are direct sequels. It's the brother of the villain from the first one has come back, and he's played by Jeremy Irons this time. And he makes McClane, he's bombs her in schools all over New York City. And he makes McClane go to Harlem, or like the black part of New York, which, New York. And he's in his underwear with a sign that says, "I hate ninjas," but it doesn't say ninjas. And it ain't censored. It's just a big sign that says, "I hate the N-word." And he's standing there because that's what the man's making him do, or he's going to blow up a school. And Sam Jackson gets involved because he's like, it's like, call 911, tell him somebody's about to get murdered. And he's over there. He's like, do you see the homeboys over there? Because you got about 3 seconds before they notice you and murder you right here. And he's like, nothing I can do about it, man. McClane, he's trying to play like he's crazy. I am the child of the Lord Almighty. His light shines through me and onto you. And they've got switchblades in his face. That's my favorite.
He's like, no, I hate the term.
Although
I hate the term. You won't ever catch me using this word.
Top Bruce Willis movie. Armageddon.
I'm this good. Yeah. Wait, you don't like it? No, come on. So good.
Just doesn't appreciate culture.
Oh, man.
I mean, look, if you're a kid, I'll tell you what, 12, 13-year-old boy movie, holy shit, Armageddon. You get that one scene where he's like feeling Liv Tyler up, like playing where there's slightly hairy belly button. Woody rewound that over and over on that hairy Liv Tyler belly button. Again. He's walking an animal cracker up her like midriff and making like jokes about and he's way too old for her, by the way. And he's like talking about like going down under with his animal cracker, and she's like, "To be continued, cocksucker." And the whole love story underneath. Steve Buscemi like riding the nuclear weapon, them crash landing the space shuttle onto a big jagged asteroid and then blowing it up. It's all like Cartoon Network.
I'm surprised like you're talking about Bruce Willis movies and you haven't talked about Pulp Fiction. That's probably the best one he's in, right?
Oh yeah, dude. Yes, such a great another Quentin Tarantino movie. Yeah,
but you know, he's a part of an ensemble there. Like, you know, The Fifth Element is a good Bruce Willis movie. You know, him and Mila Jovovich are kind of doing that thing. Like that's
what is The Fifth Element? Oh, I guess the better question, what are the other four?
Earth, Wind, Water, Fire.
Kyle oversold the belly hair on Liv Tyler.
The Fifth Element is Mila Jovovich's hot fucking ass wearing nothing but bandages and doing kung fu with like orangey hair. And she doesn't speak English, so she can't tell anybody what you do to her.
No one holds this title for very long, but she may have been like the most beautiful earthling on the scene. Oh yeah, I'm quite the charmer.
Avert their eyes, and the one's like, "They really make her," and the other guy's like, "Perfect, yes." Like everybody's melting down about how fucking hot she is.
She's super hot.
Yeah, and she's wearing.
Hired so many hotties Halloweens.
Oh hell yeah. That's good.
I don't remember that far back.
Mila Jovovich is hot. She's done Full Frontal before, and she's the chick from Resident Evil as well.
Oh yeah, really good. Chick. The first one was good.
Sure, seen those.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just she made like 8 of them, and they're like,
No, I didn't.
They're all about the same level of shitty.
They're all terrible. Is that
the first one's fine? No, the first one's fine, and they all try to stay somewhat true to the story. But if you're like a real fan, they try to be true to it. But I like action movie schlock. But if we're talking about real good movies, Fifth Element's fucking one of my favorites. Even with Chris Tucker's silly ass.
1997. I'm almost sure.
I don't think they make movies like they used to. I really don't. I think there's for a movie that costs a certain amount of money, and it seems like there's not a lot of drive for those movies that are like $50 to $75 million. Those like small, like not some indie flick that's horseshit, but also not Avengers 87. You know, I've seen enough billion-dollar movies. I'd like to see some, I don't know, some detective, noir shit or something.
We don't have enough of that. Event Horizon was one of them. That was also a good sci-fi movie.
I talk about that all the time. I've forced them to watch that.
Wait, that's the one where Sam Neill is on the spaceship and everything starts getting. I don't want to get
great twist in the end. Highly recommended. Michael Douglas.
I haven't seen the game.
I don't think I have.
I bet
either.
Kyle has. Really, you haven't seen it? I lean on you to have seen every movie, man.
Notable releases also. Gattaca.
Oh, that's so good.
Con Air. Devil's Advocate, Contact, The Postman Man, Good Will Hunting. Yeah,
I was talking about.
I'm not done. I'm not fucking done. It's so good. Face Off, Gang Related, Nothing to Lose, Dante's Peak, The Devil's Own, Double Team with fucking Dennis Rodman.
Did you say Volcano and Dante's Peak in the same year? Volcano, of course, being the Tommy Lee Jones Volcano movie where LA kind of melts down, and Dante's Peak being the one with Pierce Brosnan and Linda Hamilton.
Correct.
It's, up in like Oregon or something. There's a part in that where this lake becomes acidified by the eruption, and it's like now it's acid water, but we got to get across. And we're paddling, but the paddles are melting and the boat's smoking, and Granny gets out in waist deep acid.
Stop it.
And starts pushing the boat, and her whole lower body is just melting, and she's just like, "Ah!" And she pushes them forward, and they don't show up, but like her pussy's just eating off and stuff, and she just lays there and dies. Yeah, it's awful. Like her whole lower body is just dissolved off.
That's Dante's. You know what, you know what they used to do back then is that they used to, 2 different studios would drop the same concept in different one. Remember, 3 days later, or the day after tomorrow, and they had other ones. But let me finish this fucking incredible year of 1997, that I should have graduated.
Graduated.
What happened?
High school. Yeah, I got held back because I didn't know how to swim. Volcano, All right, here we go. Murder at 1600. Do you remember that one with Wesley Snipes?
Yeah,
Batman and Robin.
Is that I get that confused with Passenger 57, which I feel like is also like a Wesley Snipes airplane movie.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think we're almost done here, and I think I just need to bring Metro with Eddie. Really good.
Yeah, I've seen Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy was a huge fucking star back in the day. He had those Beverly Hills Cop movies.
Oh, dude. Selena, obviously not you guys aren't the demographic.
Isn't that where J-Lo plays that?
Yes. Dude, you are my fucking man, dude. You know as much about movies as I do. The Jackal, another.
So that's where Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis,
a book.
right.
He's got this badass gun. I've used that gun system that he was fucking with. It's basically a remote control 50 cal sniper machine gun. And Jack Black is like his weapons dude, and he makes Jack Black hold this pack of Marlboro cigarettes up down the creek bed, and he like shoots it off. And I can't remember if he hits the pack of cigarettes first, but I think they're like, oh, good, it's set. And then he just blows Jack Black's arm off for the fuck. Jack's been in stuff forever. Yeah. Since a kid. He used to do, he's in kids commercials, like for like GAC or something. I can't remember what. Like he's been doing stuff forever. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, why did he fucking shoot Jack Black's arm off?
I cannot believe what I'm fucking seeing because I keep hitting the scroll button and new ones come out. Are you ready? The Pest with John Leguizamo. Did you ever watch that?
It's a shitty movie. I like John Leguizamo.
I think I saw that as a kid.
Yeah, shit movie about the what is it? The Most Dangerous Game. The Saint with Val Kilmer. Do you remember that one?
Seen that. I like that. It's got. Is that Elizabeth Shue in there with him?
I don't think so. I think it's the lady from Con Air. The same lady. Potts. I think
that sexy blonde lady.
Oh no, that. You're right.
I remember him. Was it Elizabeth Shue?
I think so. Right here. I'm checking right now. Boom, boom, boom.
Because he's like, Val Kilmer's putting on all these disguises, and he's like he's always really good looking most of the time though. Like, he's super good looking, doing voices and stuff.
Yeah,
I like that movie.
Now.
Yeah, he's not doing so well these days. Did he die? Like he was in Maverick, but he was all
man, wow, you are fucking on your shit. I am impressed. The Rainmaker with Matt Damon.
John Grisham's The Rainmaker?
Yes.
Now, is that directed by...
Dude, I am so fucking impressed, dude. I am so impressed.
He knows movies.
Just so you understand the gravity of 1997 in movies, right? Because also with that, I'm skipping like the ones that are like obscure, I think. But there is also The Rainmaker and Beverly Hills Ninja.
I owned that on VHS, so I've seen that like over and over. I could quote that one.
Private Parts.
Of course, Howard Stern's movie.
Yep. And then Riot, Hoodlum, and Alien Resurrection. But one.
I saw Resurrection in theaters with my grandma.
Dude. And
that year.
To cherry on top to end it all, G.I. Jane.
Yeah. You've got those big fucking titties everywhere. First of all, you got who is it plays Aragorn?
Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen being Lieutenant piece of shit. And and you've got Demi Moore with her big titties, can't even pull herself out of the water, going to be the first Navy SEAL. Yeah, it's a fun movie too. Yeah. I've been looking for horror movies to watch for Halloween because do that to me because I don't like gore. It's not that I want to avoid gore. Fingers get chopped off and that not be like the end of the movie. Now, I mean, there's a good movie that I can think of that has fingers getting. What's that?
Midsommar.
Yeah, it was okay. I like Ari Aster. I like the previous.
I didn't know that was a scary movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's upsetting. It's more of an upsetting movie.
It is a very upsetting movie.
Yeah.
I don't watch like witches and devil shit or ghosts. I don't watch those.
You just don't like them, or they scare you more.
In 1984. Let me see when the fucking this movie came out, just to make sure that I'm being accurate. The Exorcist, original. The Exorcist.
Was that, I think 79 though, isn't it? I thought it was older.
1973. In 1984, when I was 4 years old, my aunts, it wasn't. And since then, I don't watch. Like even looking at it, I can't. It's just like it upsets me.
So you're Catholic, huh?
Nah, I mean, I grew up Catholic.
To you, and that's why a big part of why it was such a big deal back then. Mm-hmm. for a modern audience that might be less religious or even more specifically less Catholic.
Fuck.
Like it's not as impactful, but it scared the shit out of me the first time I saw it.
But it was scary.
Dude,
Spooked me.
The way it's and one of them's previous work is a lot of documentaries, like medical documentaries and stuff. And so there's that first scene we do with our kid, you know, all right, this doctor, then that doctor, and this every doctor, every expert, both hospitals, this side of town, that side of town, and the kid's going through those terrible like an ancient MRI that like jiggles your head like a paint mixer or something. Yeah. They're injecting dyes directly into her carotid artery, and she's just like, little pinch here. Ah! When they're like, put an audience, no, are useless. We're just watching her be tortured by her own family before we get to the exorcism.
God, that shit fucking scared me. Dude, this whole fucking time, I'm like, I keep saying, I'm like, all right, it's there. And then right now, so you're telling that, I'm like fucking like going back into that scary spot, and I'm like, oh my god.
It is spooky. You set yourself up.
Listening, Hex has a glow in the dark skeleton man behind him. And he scared himself somehow with his own prop.
And I didn't want to spook you, Kyle, or interrupt, but there is a bug on the wall behind you.
It's a mosquito. I saw him. He was here earlier. I sent a picture the other day. Chis says it wasn't a mosquito, that thing that attacked me the other day. He said it was like a mosquito egg-eating insect, but it had this huge proboscis on its coming out, like a huge one.
Oh, and like a mayfly-looking thing?
Big, though. Like it must have had a wingspan of 2 inches. And I started recording it because I was shocked at how big it was. It was in my house, and it came right at me, like on his ass, right there, and then zoom in, like you got knocked the fuck out. It's on WhatsApp. You gotta watch my videos.
Well, it gets lost in the mix between I'm like, all right, this is clearly a beheading. Like there's like pieces of a dead guy from.
Oh, look, a fight where one of the participants is a car.
All right, so here's one I know you didn't watch. I sent it to you today. And I added a little text. It said, haha, the Israelis died. This little window was Hamas propaganda where they were pretending like they had dead babies, but they were clearly baby dolls. Like you can tell and it was. What was that? Did you hear that?
I heard something.
Yeah, that was me. I went to your YouTube channel and then
I was about to say, I heard a hello, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. You did. You know what's crazy? It's like, why the fuck is my thing feeding my thing? I guess that's how it works.
No worries.
Because you like, you got to watch my videos, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if he's fucking uploading again.
No, I'm
now realizing the thread. Yeah.
I'm PM them shit. But like if you don't click that video, you might think I'm making a joke about actual dead babies, which I wouldn't do. That's too dark even for our little chat. I got other chats for that. So if you click it, you see, oh, look at that. It literally is a Cabbage Patch Kid with wrapped in a blanket and with some schmutz on its face. Like look, if I lay a certain way, you'd think I was dead too, right? Like you can make a Cabbage Patch Kid look like whatever you want. So you got to click all my videos. It's high quality content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's just
I'm a media aggregator. Okay,
there's too many dead people in your clips. I'll say it.
When's the last time?
How about more silly ones?
You bet you.
Game 7 final score, and that's worse.
You know what, Woody? I only did that because when the Phillies beat the Braves, and you said, "Welcome to Philly, bitch." I didn't say
like
anything.
A Philly fan.
And then my phone said, "Memories from 1 year ago." When you did it last year, the same, and you had, it was literally you with the same screenshot when you guys beat us last year. Same thing. So I didn't put any text. I said "Go Rangers," and then I sent the scoreboard of the
yeah, that was hurtful. I can't believe you did
that. Well, I'm all in on the Rangers now for
very respectful
on Team Hex. Yeah, who are they playing? Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Arizona Diamondbacks. Yeah.
I know baseball. Fucking Arizona. They don't even deserve to be there.
It's the first time they've been there since 2001, which they must have had Randy Johnson back then.
Yeah, words out of my mouth.
Him. You remember
photography
dude threw like 101. He's 6'4" or something. Had that scowl. He had that pockmarked, ugly ass white man face.
Yeah, he's like, let's wrap this game up. I got to
fix up because he's tall.
Look at him, bro. Great. What an athlete, dude.
Yeah,
one of my favorite ever.
He is though. Like
it's an intimidating pitcher.
He's not built for arm wrestling, but
he threw very fast, and he'd be. I mean, I remember watching that series because we weren't in it.
What is happening here? Is he?
Wait, he's an NFL photographer?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's what he does now. Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool.
So cool. Like this dude's got it all, and he's like, I want to go work on something that fucking Favre doing now. You know, another one of my favorites.
I don't know.
Brett Favre, he's robbing poor people in Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
Brett Favre is a photo journalist now or for sports?
No, he's saying what's Brett Favre doing?
He's a thief. So he's Brett Favre,
not a favorite no more.
Brett Favre steals money from poor children in his home state. Is what he does. I saw this TikTok like contacted Brett Favre's people about like, hey, we want to hire Brett for a speaking engagement. And they're like, oh, well, he's not entertaining anything that's under 150,000 for, one of these speaking engagements. And they're like, oh, actually, before you sent that reply, I just read all about how he stole all that money from those children. I'm not sure if I want to be associated with a child thief or with a thief who steals.
Like, no, children. I'm giving it to even poorer kids.
Yeah, like he literally did, and you can see. I think there's text messages where he's conspiring that if my fucking Super Bowl winning Wrangler jean wearing multi-millionaire ass suddenly was stealing money from the poor children of my town, like maybe like millions maybe for that. Like
it was millions. It's like a destination wedding location now. Her fucking volleyball court. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, are these the texts? Here,
someone read this. These aren't real glasses.
Hey, brother Deanna and still owe 1.1 million on V-ball. Any chance you and Nancy can help with that? They don't need it at the moment. You and Nancy stuck your neck out for me with Jake and Previcus, I know, and that's going to turn out very good, I believe. Good to hear from you. Let me see what we can do. We certainly want to see the V-Ball project come together. I'll get back with you tomorrow. We value you, Brett, and are willing to always be supportive. Do not look at it as sticking our neck out as much as helping a friend and potentially many, many more who are in need if treatment. So,
wow, bad grammar all around.
Yeah, that was... Well, that's not good. Well, another thing Brett Favre did that was untoward was I think he sent a flaccid dick pic, didn't he? Wasn't he flaccid?
The word.
He was. I've seen his penis.
Yeah, I have as well. And I remember thinking the lighting is off. Your dick's not hard. Like if on the checklist of dick pics, it's almost like you tried to do it as bad as possible. I
just look at it through the genes. Maybe I'm softcore.
Oh, I was always noticing it in those. That was
have been a good quarterback before my time, even because when I remember watching him always throw the game away at the end, looking right and just throwing it as hard as he fucking could and losing the game.
Losing the game? What do you mean? Like
like throwing throwing an INT or just losing the game right there. Like I remember that.
He was solid. As a Chicago Bears fan, it was a difficult time for me. But
anybody can win one. Give them away.
I don't think I could do it.
I don't think anybody can win one.
I think they can. I think all that shit's fake. I think most professional sports are fake. Like especially when you get the championship level, I think they set it up. I think that at the very least they shave huge points one way or the other to make certain matchups, more profitable matchups happen.
The Kelsey
I've seen
brothers.
There's a you can watch YouTube videos full of NFL players who think their Super Bowls were rigged. Like famous, they're like, yeah, come on, why wouldn't he play him? He benched him. They didn't play him in the second half. There's lots of instances. Jerry Rice thinks his Super Bowl is stolen. Yeah.
The Kelsey brothers, they're one guy's a center for the Eagles, the other guy's a tight end for Kansas City, and they're both at the top of their game, like all stars, all pros or whatever. They were doing a debate on whether a normal person, like one of us, could gain 1 yard in the NFL. Yeah, they came away with. I thought they would like gatekeep it a little bit, but they're like 1 yard. No, they could do it. It would have to be a play where not everyone on the field knew Woody's about to get the ball and try to get 1 yard. Right? Like if it's punching in the end zone or something, then maybe not. But if they have to spread the defense out, they don't know where it's going, I could pick up a yard.
Yeah.
And then they said, but they might not like what happens at the end of the play. You know, the part where you get smashed, punished for gaining a yard. And I'm like, yeah. Right?
I hate rigging all sorts of games. Like the NFL would do it. Like Hex just said, you're a Bears fan. Like Chicago, enormous market. The Bears have a ton of fans. Seemingly is always not good. They don't ever make it to the Super Bowl. Their fans are in big. Chicago up to the top before like Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So I'm not suggesting that they're rigging to put a certain team into the Super Bowl. I'm saying that there are specific crews who might get like a tap on the shoulder for specific games because an instance needs to go left instead of right. Is more what I'm thinking. And I've seen NBA players too, like 3 or 4 of them. I don't know NBA players, but apparently, like young new guys, like sitting around a round table and be like, yeah, we let them know, you better beat them by 15. You better beat them by 15 because, and nobody wants to say it. It's like they're talking about one of the races that we're not allowed to talk about, or one of the groups we're not allowed to talk about. So we just sort of inferred that they were suggesting referee interference and conspiracy to make the game close at the end.
NBA, so that's pretty much proven.
It's documented.
Yeah, they've gotten caught.
Yeah, there's an NBA ref who got caught. This isn't like 1920 like baseball. This is like 5 years ago. I'm a little shady on the history, but ref got caught. I think there were more refs on scapegoat and moved on. And I'm pretty sure I'm right.
How much would you need to get paid to be the scapegoat?
How much would I say it again?
Yeah, how much would you as a ref would you need to get paid to take the blame for that? Take the fall.
It would have to be enough that, like, if you got caught, it was like the cumulative of all your future earnings. Because if you get
times 3,
yeah. So if it's like, all right, if I'm a ref for the next 18 years until retirement age, I would make, I don't know, $4.1 million. So it's got to be 5.
No, it's worse than that. You're getting blacklisted after this. Are you a guy who had a ref? You're about to get blacklisted from the thing you love. This is gonna be like that This is like asking that. Remember the guy who his friends fucking hate his guts now. All right,
we're all those fish laws.
So you can't. We're not high school basketball. We're talking about the NBA. You better give me $7.5 million to keep my mouth shut before I break this NDA. Like,
I'll rig a high school match.
I'll go write a book right now.
Shits and giggles.
Now tripping 5 points to the other team.
But if you want me to take the rap for that and be like, yeah, I have a gambling problem. It was me and me alone. I only did it to games where it wouldn't affect the outcome, but it would allow me to profit. That was my main criteria. Tell the lie they tell. You'd need to pay me millions of dollars to keep that secret and not write a fucking tell-all book. And because I'm probably going to jail.
Well,
there are people out there.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not talking about like Jim Bob who like maybe there's a fucking criminal who lost some money because of you, who's the kind of guy who already hurts people on a regular basis. And now he feels like you owe him money. That'd be a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, that I would definitely, if I were a professional ref and I got the opportunity and I was like sick of my job, I'd do it.
You fix games?
I think I think I'd dabble in a little game fix. It would depend, because if it's basketball, easy as shit. Just a bunch of trumped up charges. All you have to do is like call fouls on one really good guy.
Just call walking when it actually happens.
I was going to say,
walking.
I don't know about football because I'm not an expert in any sport really, but I feel like in basketball, almost every play has something that could be called a travel, something that could be called a foul, a contact, etc. And it's just so much judgment involved in whether this is the kind of bullshit people get away with. Tag a guy at second. You just sort of hold in a way that shows you could have safely. If, like there's a runner headed to first, a runner headed to second. I don't think you have to touch the guy going to second with the ball. Everyone calls him out if you can like squeeze it.
Oh, if it's a force. Well, if it's forced, you don't have to tag him. So if I
want to say there's some sort of rule of thumb in baseball where the guy's headed to second, and maybe it's not forced, where you can just like touch the ground and back off safely and not actually like show that you could have touched the player, but you can make a safer play and they call him out anyway.
Well,
am I wrong?
It'll need to be a force. There are some instances where people slide in aggressively and take out the second baseman to prevent him from pulling the double play, getting the ball over to first. And that is usually what starts the big fight at second. Yeah. That or the second baseman applying an aggressive tag to.
But that's not a penalty to slide into a base or something. Like you can slide into a guy.
They've changed the rule about how far outside the lines and a lot. They've changed a lot of things. I know the catcher you used to just barrel that motherfucker over and give him fucking brain damage, you know, because if you can knock him unconscious, he'll drop the ball.
Yeah, extra point. Yeah.
So you're trying to knock him here I come, you know. So now he can't block the plate anymore. He can't stand there and play chicken with you. They've changed a lot of the rules. I don't know all of the changes.
I appreciate the timer on the pitcher now, right? Because also in Texas, like it's really hard to go. Well, the new stadium works, but before it was like in the outdoors, and it's like Texas heat.
Dude, I'm just glad the Stros fucking lost. I don't. Look, I have this. I'm a hypocrite first and foremost. It should be my fucking job title. But man, I hate fucking cheating in sports. I hate the Astros cheating. I hate what they did. Like there's some cheating I don't mind. They're like, oh, Tom Brady deflated his footballs. I don't fucking care. He's still throwing that piece of shit. Everybody be doing it. I bet everybody's balls are light. You know, I don't want to hear about Lance Armstrong because the like 30 people behind him were all roided out too.
That's true. It's unfair he got those taken.
But when you tell me the Stros are fucking banging trash cans when some guy hits them with the Morse code after using a telescope to read a fucking sign or something, it's like that's a little frustrating. You got an organized conspiracy, and it's so open that it's clear that it's like your whole team is like rah rah rah. Cheat.
I don't think the Astros ever admitted to it though. So
they have. Get out of here! You're joking, right?
No, it's kind of like that. No, Woody's right. It's kind of
the same trainer
with the Astros again.
Yeah, I think so.
Damn, I mean, double up. You're already in.
The latest thing I've heard is Michigan's in trouble.
I heard that too
for sign stealing, which I love. You know, I'm a while now, and some number 2 Michigan is of concern. And to hear that they're getting some recompense for their cheating ways just tickles me pink. So
is there evidence of it, or is it like an accusation?
Some sort of sign stealing conspiracy that somebody's ratted everybody out, and it's a big to do, and they're going to get the NCAA will come down to them, and I don't know what they'll do. NCAA has a lot of power and scope. So that they'll do things to a university that you wouldn't think that a governing body that handles sports could do to them. Take lots of money away, take scholarships away, that sort of thing. So they'll take your. I can't remember who told the joke. It might be Chappelle. He was at like the ESPY Awards, and dude just had won the Heisman, and he's like, "Man, that's the Heisman. Nobody can take that away from you, unless you decapitate a waiter and a white woman." Then they'll snatch it away.
They took his Heisman.
The crowd went, ooh. It was a pro OJ crowd.
Yeah, nothing he does in the future takes away from him being the best. Is that the best rookie?
Running back.
Best running back. God damn, I don't know anything.
The Heisman?
For a lot of yards. OJ Simpson. Like his NFL career, like that's what he's known for. Oh, the Heisman is like outstanding player, as far as my knowledge.
Taylor asked the question, "What is the Heisman for?" And you said best running back. And
I thought it was the best player.
Sorry, the fog gets to me.
You're starting to get lightheaded.
It's the fog. Yeah. You should do ads, and then I want to talk about how much cheating is clearly in the UFC, but how it's just a farce of a sport, like they all are.
Well, we'll argue more about that, but Hex, I know you got to get out of here.
I do.
Thank you very much for coming on for our spooktacular episode.
Dude,
yes.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure, boys. Thank you. I really do appreciate the invites. They come just out of nowhere, so obviously it's like I laugh and I smile when I get Chiz in there saying let's run it back.
Right. Going to hear from a couple of
we got a new ad.
wonderful sponsors. Fans, get ready for Halloween season with PharoDistro.com. Use code PKA30. If you're into smoking flower, you'll want to check out our brand new THCA buds and pre-rolls. And if you're all about dabs, don't miss our Dab X Go and premium HHC and Delta 8 is better dabs. We've also got a jaw-dropping array of high-quality, high-milligram edibles for you to choose from sour belts to nerd ropes and a wide assortment of gummies. Pharaoh Distro has something for everybody. For those who seek holistic wellness, explore our selection of CBD products and therapeutic mushrooms. And here's the cherry on top. Use the code PKA30 for an incredible 30% off all of those as well. When it comes to quality you can trust, it's PharoDistro.com, linked below. Grab this deal before it disappears. Again, pharodistro.com, PKA30, pharodistro.com, PKA30, 30% off. Get yourself a DabX Go if you're into dabs. It's the easiest, high quality. Oh, and if you're going to be taking it out and about with you, going somewhere like, I don't know, you're going on a float trip or a friend's house, whatever it is, it comes in like a very high quality tube container for additional dabs for multiple types or flavors or whatever of dabs. It's a really high. Kyle and I talked about that privately. I don't think we've ever mentioned it in the ad read, that we were like, you got your DabX Go? Did it come in like a really cool, like tactical bag? And he's like, yeah. And so if you're looking for that, DabX Go, super high quality device, and it's not some big giant rig that's going to take up a bunch of space. Easy to pick up, one-hand use. The charge lasts for a long time. Can't recommend the DabX Go enough. And that's 30% off with this code. So grab yourself that and some dabs. We've been pumping this up the past few weeks, the THCA buds and pre-rolls, because we've recently been getting shipped those. That shit is strong as fuck. We talked about it earlier in this episode. It just gets you high, like it's just regular. Go the THCA route. That's even stronger than the HHC. Way stronger than Delta 8. If you're more of an edible guy, say it every week. Start with the 10, 25 milligram ones. Don't be a hero and go for 100 or a 300 or certainly not a 500 milligram one. And if you're one of the people who's very economical about this and you're going, I'm just going to buy 5,000 milligrams in one of these Sour Belt containers. Teeny tiny little bites, folks. Teeny tiny little bites. And if you are used to a certain dosage of HHC or Delta 8 edibles from your local gas station, do not assume very strong edibles. So you can always take another bite. Better to eat a little on the low side than a little too much on the high side. You can always take, or if you want, you can just get so high you spook yourself, the way Kyle talks about it. Just getting scared high, which is, Kyle's talked about enjoying that. I prefer to just get comfortable high, and I think most do as well. Just a little softer edges in the world when you're a little stoned. So check it out. Can't recommend the THCA bud and Qualia Senolytic. Qualia Senolytic, folks. Have you heard about senolytics yet? It's a class of ingredients discovered less than 10 years ago, and they're being called the biggest discovery of our time for promoting healthy aging and enhancing your physical prime. Your life goals in your career and beyond require productivity. But let's be honest, that's why we're happy to introduce everyone to Qualia Senolytic. As we age, everyone accumulates senescent cells in their body. Senescent cells cause symptoms of aging, such as aches and pains, slow workout recoveries, sluggish mental and physical energy associated with that middle age feeling. Also known as zombie cells. They are old and worn out and not serving a useful function for our health anymore, but they're taking up space and nutrients from our healthy cells. Much like pruning the yellowing and dead leaves off a plant, the rest of them to thrive in the body, only needing to take it twice a month. So take advantage of their 100-day money-back guarantee and resist aging at the cellular level. Try Qualia Senolytic. Go to neurohacker.com/PKA. That's neurohacker.com/PKA for up to $100 off, and use code PKA at checkout for an additional 15% off. That's neurohacker.com/PKA for an extra 15% off your purchase. Thank you to Neurohacker for sponsoring today's episode. Check that out. You don't want to age badly. You want to age well. Get rid of those senescent cells in your body, those symptoms of aging. No one likes that. No one likes getting older. It feels sad. You're reminded of your own mortality. You go, oh my God, is this all there is? This can't be all there is.
I'm catching strays over
here. Yeah, to the healthiest looking 50-year-old on planet Earth, by the way, Woody. Not even joking. The people are always like, how old are you? And you're like 50. And they're like, what? Like real cells, those zombie cells in your body. So check out Qualia Senolytic at neurohacker.com/PKA for up to $100 off, and use code PKA at checkout for an additional 15% off. Age well, feel better. Qualia Senolytic, that is linked below. Check it out. And of course, as always, this episode is taking the world by storm. I've had since last week a number of people messaging me being like, hey, I know a porn star. Or, hey, this guest of yours, this past guest, I'm going to be fool. I think it was Brandon Buckingham, actually. It's like, oh, Brandon Buckingham, he knows. We need to get him back on. I like Brandon. But Brandon Buckingham, he knows porn
has
stars.
Weak-ass loads.
If you don't, if this makes it back to you, Brandon, we're going to hook you up with a bottle. All it is $50, and this charging part.
Give them the link.
Send them the link in the discount code. So yeah, check out Lock and Load, the premium supplement. Bust like a man, come harder, more volume. What's the best time when you're busting? It's when the cum is coming out. You don't have to be a genius to know that that's when the sensation is maximized. What does more fluid mean? It means more sensation, folks. It means a better cum, a better orgasm, and a better finish for your lady friend, your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. We don't judge. We just want you to have nice, big, thick, creamy loads showing how much you're enjoying sex with that special someone. So Lock and Load, code PKA or code Jizz for 10% off. But it doesn't stop there, you fucking idiots. He has everything. Protein powders, energy drinks, weight loss supplements, dream supplements, anything you can think of that you need efficaciously dosed by Derek, expert, by the way. You can find that at GorillaMind.com, linked below, and code PKA. That's going to work for anything over on that site. Get yourself some cum pills with bigger loads, and you could be a guy who's high out of your mind on THCA. All of these things we bring to you, plus all the protein and other things over at GorillaMind.com. Check it out. Code PKA, code Jizz, 10% off everything over there. And that is it. There we go.
So, Zach,
what were you going, Bill?
Beer using her vaginal yeast, which I don't think.
Stupid question.
Yeah.
Do all vaginas have yeast? I thought that was like an infection that happened from time to time.
It's one of God's great mysteries.
Yeah. And then they tell all these lies. Like they make you think there's a clitoris. They make you think that girls orgasm. And it's hard to know what's true and what's not after a while.
The ultimate prank on men.
Yeah, right?
Clitoris. Where is
Female orgasm and other myths by
Dr. John Kellogg or whatever the fuck that guy's up to in the early turn of the century. Yeah, I think that all pussies have some yeast in there. You know they do. It's just
even on their best day, it's in there a little bit.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like a living.
It's like an aquarium.
Organism.
It's like an aquarium. You got to keep
bacteria
the pH
in balance.
Yes. Sure. That's exactly it. You got to keep the pH just right, so that you don't get any odor, or it doesn't get too sour. Sometimes it'll be.
Jesus,
I see.
You get a little chlorine in that bitch.
Little orange juice pussy.
Jesus Christ! Nothing's
it looks
getting
like
out of there.
This is gross. It says it's going to be used to make sour ales and porters or
I wanted some sort of ginger beer. Look, Amaranth is
a ginger beer,
incredibly fucking hot. But I don't want her pussy yeast beer. That's just disgusting. I don't want her bath water either.
And think about fucking her, like an sour ale. Which, by the way, is there a grosser kind of beer than a sour ale?
Dude, I don't like beer. There's
Bud Light. My boys and I would never drink that.
I'd rather drink a Bud Light any day of the. Yeah. Why are people pretending to like this? This sucks.
I don't
the only
mind
good
sour.
beers are the ciders.
The whole alcohol thing and the ritual of the various kinds
are just for girls.
Well, no. All right. Look, we're here to get drunk. So what we're all trying to do is numb our brains with a drug called alcohol. And most people want to make it like give it some volume. Like, no, get out of there. There should be Tabasco in there. Look, I like Bloody Marys, but what are we actually here for? Let's start with 2 straight shots of vodka so the Bloody Mary tastes good.
Drinker. I'm
showing up buzzed. I'm getting out of the car after like having a couple, right? Like I'm in a pregame. Do you know how much alcohol costs?
He doesn't mean what he says, officer.
No, I mean it.
Oh, the cop's like, do you see that guy?
There are open
pretty
containers
cool.
in my car right now.
That guy saved a lot of money by getting drunk at home first. He's a smart shopper.
That's all being a smart consumer.
Yes, milligram drip of ibuprofen.
You put a shot of it in a beer, and maybe it tastes a little bit like root beer. It reacts when you drop it in.
Oh, you're talking about the Boilermaker,
like an Irish car bomb, or
shit. I didn't think it was either of those.
Or a Red Bull vodka, where you drop the shot and like, that's a Jaeger bomb, and it's not like a whole glass of Red Bull.
Maybe I am thinking of a Jaeger bomb.
So you're just talking about a beverage in general where you've got one big drink. It's what we used to drink.
A Boilermaker is a shot of whiskey into your beer, then chug it. So it actually sounds worse than a regular beer by a lot.
But you're getting hammered right away.
Yeah. Have you ever had an Irish car bomb? It's like
Jameson and
it's like Guinness. It's like a pint of Guinness, and then it's a shot of Jameson with what the fuck is that to your Guinness? The cream starts like curdling And so you have to drink it so quickly, or within like 15 seconds, it's just rancid.
See, the problem is I don't like he like those thick, black, dark, OT beers,
lower calorie beer.
What is this?
Guinness isn't good. I don't like any dark beer.
No,
like all the dark beers are gross. The sour beers are gross.
Again, I just want to I want like a injector. I want a syringe full of grain alcohol. I have no interest in this as a beverage. It doesn't make anything taste better than it already did. It's always a negative flavor wise.
Yeah. Well, you're right. It never really adds any, unless you put it in food. Vodka sauce is great. I don't know how vodka improves that pasta sauce, but vodka sauce is delicious.
Well, the alcohol burns off.
All the alcohol burns the same way that like burgundy mushrooms. You can hate red wine with every fiber of your being. And
usually have alcohol in my house to cook with. It's like I'm not going to go buy a bottle of red wine to do this sauce or whatever.
I'm surprised.
I always thought it was people like scavenging, trying to make alcohol into something that didn't suck. Like, I'm going to put beer on this sausage. It's like, no, it doesn't make it better. Your vodka spaghetti sauce is stupid. All these things are bad. No, just me?
No, I disagree. Like, because all the alcohol cooks away. So like when in French cooking, when they add like white wine or red wine or whatever, like you're just getting the good flavor part that like makes the mushrooms better, or the pasta.
Oh, the good flavor part of wine.
You're usually deglazing the pan.
You're
deglazing the pan
because I really don't like wine either, but I love like a lot of dishes, like if it's made with wine, because like if you're tasting a bunch of alcohol, it's because some retard cooking it didn't cook away the alcohol, and they like didn't like let it.
Just don't. I noticed that fancy chefs cook with a lot of alcohol, but I usually don't because I don't like it for that cheese dip. It looked good, Taylor. She melted one fantastic cheese after another in that vessel, in that cauldron right before our eyes, and we had these fancy baguettes and all these things to dip in there. This delicious bread that was going to sop up that cheese. One good and two, and just when my mouth's watering, and just when we were getting ready to start sopping up some of that cheesy goodness, fondue time. She upends a whole goddamn liter of beer into the fucking cheese.
Well, you clearly ordered
beer was coming either, and
all
like
of
Kyle,
our faces.
Yeah, I don't think anyone, because Joe doesn't drink.
Joe doesn't drink.
Yeah,
but it cooks away. Like you're not getting any alcohol. It's just like thinning because like I've done that at fondue places. The beer cheese is good. It doesn't make the cheese worse.
Cook away 5% alcohol out of she put a whole beer in a bucket of cheese. It tasted like beer. It was
it sounds like she didn't do a good job.
Of my issue
because
when I went unattractive.
When I went to the melting pot a couple years ago and they put beer in there, it was not a whole beer. It was not even a
you have a different relationship. Taylor, I peed in it, but it burns off. Like you're not getting the urea. You're just getting the tasty parts of my urine. Then you might understand where I'm coming from.
I'm just getting the ammonia. Just a little bit of that. Yeah. I mean, this is an oversight on
everybody. It's 12 years ago, but I'm just saying, I'm still salty about it. That bitch.
Cheese is because we
had to go to a second dinner.
It's not dippable.
We left that place and went to a second dinner.
Looking around, we went to 2 expensive restaurants that night.
I remember that. Wait. I'm pretty sure I remember you threatening that. You're like, you're going the wrong way.
I don't remember that. But not the cool kind of limo. The vans they call.
One of us was very upset with our driver that was taking us to the second restaurant. I remember that. But yeah, fuck that fondue place and their beer.
I don't understand.
Dr. Pepper in that bitch. Put a Dr. Pepper, the full sugar Dr. Pepper. Tell me 1,000 times better.
Yeah, Kyle for president. Taylor,
could be.
You lose.
You want a Budweiser?
I love vanilla cream. I love vanilla cream soda, but I wouldn't.
Bud Light. He's not. Yeah, I know. 2 sides of the story. He's just like, fuck you if you don't like Bud Light. Yeah, you line up with Bud Light, then you don't line up with me. I'm out. And Dana White's like, you're a fucking idiot. Drink Bud Light.
I doubt it impacts their UFC viewership, but I don't know. I would.
It's weird. Usually, I think of these boycotts as a very temporary thing with no lasting effect, but Bud Light's has been persistent.
Yeah, Bud Light is destroyed, like their facings in every major retailer. Kyle called it, like maybe not to have it at barbecues and things because they don't want to get razzed about it because it's like, oh, you're drinking the gay beer.
I'll have a Coors Light. not a Bud Light, because they don't want to pay me nothing. And then maybe later on, I'll go home, lay on my wife for a little while. How about that?
How about that?
Go home, have me a Coors Light. That's right, a Coors Light, because Bud Light don't want to pay me nothing. Apparently, they were very upset.
Yeah.
Well, they should have paid him. It's interesting. Reebok or Venom deal. The fighters get cash.
They're wearing
it. For wearing Bud Light. I think the UFC just keeps all that.
Yeah, it's on the ring. In fact, it's empty and throws it away because they don't give him money.
Khamzat Chimaev.
No one knows. So what was proposed was that the winner of Khamzat Chimaev and Usman would be the contender. They said that. Dana said that he didn't look that great against Usman, and he breaks his wrist. So now we got a 6-8 months heel time, then a 6-week camp. Strickland's sitting there in the wind doing nothing. So I think they're going to have Strickland fight Duplessis, maybe. Like Duplessis actually hard. If I were greeting him, I would probably put a little English on it, or a little French rather. He's the contender. He's healthy because he had a foot thing that prevented him from being the one. Strickland stepped in because Duplessis wouldn't fight Adesanya on that shoulder. Anyway, Duplessis beat that guy, and then he thought was going to happen. It's clear that, like, dude, you walk through Whitaker, you go to the belt. But he didn't want to take the fight on that short notice with the hurt foot. So Duplessis fights for the belt with Chimaev injured. And Chimaev is just who he's the terrorist guy. Allows me to, then I'll go to Palestine with a rifle and kill, for my Muslim brothers. It's no big deal to come in here and fight in shorts. That's not. He said that if the president of Chechnya will allow him to, that he won't be fighting for the belt next. He'll be
in a WWE, WWF way. I fucking love it. Yes. This is the
Iranian terrorist or anything. He was just being like, Iran is best country in the world. I would give his performance a B, because he should have smoked Usman. Usman coming in short notice. Got old man Usman with the bad knees. Didn't look right against that Adesanya the last time he was out. Or not Adesanya, but the guy down at 170, the British black guy, who's the champ right now.
Leon Edwards.
Leon Edwards, thank you. Yeah, he didn't look great against Leon his last time out. It looks like Usman of old. Match, there's no point, he got up. There's no pin. It was a really good sequence in rounds, maybe finish him, because he didn't look like he had the gas tank for it. He looked like a wrestling Conor McGregor, and Usman's fought nothing but 25 round fights for like a decade, right? So there's on right now because just Team Kyle, which is across all sports and genres and really everywhere. John Jones tore his pec off the bone. No USADA recovery, like Superman recovery. And then Stipe 8 months from now, like Jesus, he's 41 years old at that point. Like now we are talking about the geriatric fight as Chael Sonnen is trying to make it. So now it's about Aspinall and that other contender that's coming up. So
I've heard there's a doctor. His name might be Brian Tyler. If not, it's not far from that. And he was suggesting Jones might retire. He's like,
well, he was planning to retire after this fight. So yeah, he might just walk away, but I don't think he will. I think he needs to come back. Man, it was set up so well for him to smoke Stipe and get that overturned to 100%. He's been working on the commission every year. He's working on because he is technically the undefeated heavyweight champion. He has not been defeated at heavyweight. So they will get that overturned. He will eventually get that to be like a no contest or something, or a win maybe. I don't know what they'll do. But you know what I mean?
A win.
They might
get disqualified for silly.
He was whooping that white boy's ass. He was on top of him going, die, and then for the belt next. Let me tell you,
he hasn't fought for like 600 days.
He doesn't have to because he's been I don't think you've been following his social media. He's been uploading daily. All right, so he's the number one contender. So he's fighting Leon Edwards. He's going to come in there with his slick talk speech, where he said something like, "You should have learned from your training partner, Matt Hamill. It doesn't matter if it's a real train or the Trump train. Stay off the tracks or you'll get crushed." Or so, he said something like that. And he's referencing that the guy he just beat's training partner got hit in the real world by a train.
Was it Matt Hughes?
Yeah, Matt Hughes. Like a few weeks before, hit by that's some people say yes. But
yeah, that would be my guess.
The man got hit by a train and is like crippled, like don't know if he's gonna live or walk. And Colby's ripping on him in the post fight, like doesn't matter if it's the Colby train or the Trump train. Get out the way, loser!
Wait, so who got hit by a train? Matt
Hughes, but it was a while. It was like 10 years ago, so I'm not sure
shit.
when this happened. Or
Colby's was making fun of that. I love Colby's trash talk. I saw he's like, I get there, and he's got these two. And he's got these two whores. He's got these two girls there that he's paid to be there. And you can tell they are not into it. They don't know who the fuck he is. They don't know who I am. They don't care. And he's like shooting his little Instagram, fucking touching you. He's like, no, nothing. She's like, no, fuck you. he's like, okay, that's cool. We'll just stand there, you know. And it just made him seem like such a loser, which I love. You know, the whole thing about Colby is they didn't like his fighting style. And they were like, hey, man, you win fights, but you're boring. Nobody gives a shit. We're going to cut you. And he came back and he was Make America Great Again, baby.
Yeah. It was 6 years ago. I misremembered it.
Yeah. And then Colby hasn't fought in 2 years. So it would have been, you know.
Yeah.
It was at the time. It was the wounds were raw.
Yeah, I just looked up what he looks like. He looks excellent for a guy who was hit by a train. I was expecting like Stephen Hawking, like just in a kind of chair, but no, he's like up doing fist. Excellent taste in sports. Go Cards. Got his little Cardinals hat on.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, they were probably good in 2017. I don't know. Yeah, Kyle, what are you talking about? You were like, all my sports teams are bad.
Oh my God.
The Falcons are above 500.
Oh my God.
Atlanta made it all the way like deep in the playoffs, right?
Are you kidding me?
They made it to the quarterfinal.
I don't really want to talk about that, but
it must be rough. I mean, if I just want to
Phillies, I just want to say this, and then I don't want to talk about it ever again.
UGA?
I am not a Braves fan. I will never watch another Braves game again. I swear to God. Done. That's it. That was your last fucking chance as an organization.
Is that the second year in a row they got bounced by the Phillies?
It absolutely is. For me, that's your second and last chance. There's no third strike this time.
It's literally baseball.
They are the least clutch organization across all professional sports leagues. They are the least clutch organization of all time. You could go back to the San Francisco Spiders playing fucking gay tennis, underwater polo nonsense, and you still couldn't find losers this bad. If you go back to like 93 or something like that and extend it to modern times, they've got 2 World Series and they've been out of like 25 postseason appearances or something like that. They are in the postseason every other year on average. At least there was a 15 or 17 year stretch. Postseason every single time for 15 years, and they won 1 World Series with 4 fucking Hall of Fame starting pitchers on the starting roster with Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones, Ryan Klesko, all these fucking Hall of Famers, not Klesko.
Greg Maddux.
That's the pitching staff. That's the 4 fucking guys that are all Hall of Famers that were in their prime. Fucking none of it matters. I don't care about your regular season baseball. Win a fucking championship or you lose me. I am fucking done. I don't care if they win 8 more in a fucking row. Fuck you. I hope the woke crowd takes your Indian logo away like they did the fucking Commanders from wherever the fuck. I don't even know what they are anymore.
Worst
fuck your team.
Fan.
Fuck your team.
Kyle's rooting for UGA,
You're
right?
Garbage.
This is in like the chat. And they're winning, just not by enough. And Kyle's like, they don't look like a number 1 team to me. I'm ready.
They don't.
Fuck them. They're not good anymore.
I didn't say fuck them.
Yeah.
I said I was giving an honest what I was doing there is giving like an honest appraisal of my team. Like
I do the opposite. I'm like, my team will be 1-0, and I'm like, of course, half the NFL is 1-0, and I'm like, they've got the best record in sports right now.
Yeah,
well, I'm watching the game.
16-way tie for first. Yeah.
Like,
and that's how I phrase it. Like
week 1. Yeah.
Thus far, no one has been able to hang with my team.
Yeah, I mean,
that was
UGA
after
spoiling you a bit, and I get that Georgia has had a lot of tough years getting bullied by Alabama or Florida or whatever. Like it never lined up for them correctly.
Yeah, playing Florida this weekend. Fuck them too. No, the problem was that they were playing Vanderbilt, a team that I'm a little fuzzy on the math, but I think we beat them 70-0 and then 50 or 60-0 like the last 2 years in a row. Of course, we won the national title the last 2 years in a row. Then this year, the game started with Vandy running it down the field and scoring on us, and then us having like 2, maybe 3 turnovers, but there was definitely could have been 3 or 4. And it, like they played bad football.
But when you win on your bad days, that's good news.
It's a team that we pay like $3 million for the privilege to whoop their ass. They're like,
no, you don't pay Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's in the SEC.
Are you sure?
Positive.
I mean, I know they're in the SEC.
They're like the team that gets shit on in the SEC. You pay like Georgia middle Georgia State or something. Probably, to like
that.
Yeah.
You're not thinking of Mizzou.
No, Mizzou's SEC. They don't have to pay us.
But
we'll come there and get beaten for free.
Did you guys play yet? Was it last weekend?
No, that's not this Saturday. Next Saturday, Georgia and Mizzou come on. And like the more I'm enjoying college football a lot this year because Mizzou's actually good. Yeah, because my team's good. I went to the school, so I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of part of it. And then like I'll watch, and I'm like, God damn, like Mizzou is making the kinds of catches and plays and shit that like really good teams do. Like our quarterback throws it and it goes like 40 yards and it's like a diving catch because we have the best receiver in college football right now. And it's like, oh my God, like that never would have been a completion back in, when I was in school.
I'm pretty worried about the game. You guys are, you've only lost 1.
Yeah. And it was to LSU, a good team.
We've got some injuries. So that Brock Bowers guy had a high ankle sprain, and I think he had a surgery on it that's got like but I think he's going to play anyway. Like, I don't know. I'm sure it's some super fancy surgery when you're operating on one of your best players and the number 1 team in the country.
Sometimes a knee brace can be as good as a tendon. Like ACL, the knee brace is really good for some sports.
So yeah, I am worried. They didn't look like the number 1 team. I still don't think they are. It's worrying. They're definitely not as good as they were the last 2 years. They don't have the same roster. They don't have as many NFL guys. Like I said, if you like the Eagles, then you like the Bulldogs.
They're not smashing teams the way they did last year. Like they beat Vanderbilt by the same spread that Mizzou did.
Yeah. So it's I hope we don't lose. I hope we don't end up having to play Alabama and then lose. That would be the worst thing.
I was gonna argue and say, hey, if they're not the number 1 team, someone else has to actually be better. And then I looked at Michigan's record. Well, actually, they haven't faced a single ranked team, but they are whooping them.
They're destroying. The same day that Georgia failed to blow Vanderbilt out, Michigan stomped somebody's asshole in like 70-0.
They haven't played. Yeah, Woody's right though. They haven't played any ranked teams.
Yeah, right. Oh. So like, a lot of teams could look good if they only played unranked teams.
Oh, we play Florida this week. I'm worried every game. We'll see which version of UGA comes out because there's been different versions at the beginning of these games. So they've been starting slow a lot early. They were great against Kentucky. Kentucky was wonderful. That was fun.
God, I hope they blow out Florida because if there's been a year in the past decade that Mizzou can steal one from Georgia, this is the year.
It is. I don't know what the line is on that game, but I would just guess that we're probably only favored by 14, maybe 17, something like that. So it's, you're just a turnover away from losing the fucking game.
It's exciting. I'm going to watch that game and probably be like a little glum when it's like, oh, halftime 37-6.
Oh, please. Oh, I would love that. That would make my day. Now, yeah, we can watch it and stream live, like our reactions. That would be fun to be mean.
Dude, I'll hop on here and watch it with you. That'd be fun. Let's do it. I'm inviting myself into a frustrating situation because Georgia's very, very, very
like 18.5. I wasn't too far off. Oof. See, we're not going to do that though. You guys, it's not going to be 18.
I don't think so either. Mizzou's pretty good.
Like, I sports gambling is illegal in Georgia, but I would be like, oh, well, that seems like an easy bet. Like, it's going to be closer than 18.5 for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Hope so.
Where is it? In Georgia?
In Georgia. So that's not ideal. But Woody, you're right. Like, it's funny that at least with college football, Kyle will be like, they beat fucking Vanderbilt by 3 touchdowns, looking like dog shit. And
Yes.
Woody and I are like, there's a number next to our name.
Right?
There's a number. Sure,
Hey,
it's 20.
I know I'm not ranked, but like we would be 28th if you count the other teams receiving votes. Maybe that'll help with recruiting this year.
Oh yeah, dude, that's how I feel looking at it. I'm like, damn, Mizzou 16. That's a real one. They're in there.
Now, if you're like State, you can get numbers in the 20s and the teens, but you don't typically end the season with them. So you might be doing better. I don't know. Your team looks good, but
I hope so.
It seems like every time State's ranked 15, that's their peak. And then something bad happens.
There was a time when all I really wanted was some respect on Sports Center for my team because they just couldn't get any.
Now they're 2-time national champions, and
now they
you
can't
don't give
fucking
them
ignore
respect.
us.
I know how that is.
And Kyle gives them no respect.
It feels really good to be. They're in this position where everybody's just like, "And number 1 Georgia," like you can't keep that fucking thing out of your mouth. It's just like and number 1 Georgia. It's just I really enjoy that because they don't like us for some reason. I don't know why. You can tell that they hate it. They're like, can we go talk about LSU for 45 fucking minutes straight? We all went to LSU here, so we love Coach fucking suck a dick. Like to their own schools, and it's like there's no UGA alums at Sports Center, so they just don't even want to cover it. I never see them do like the game day coverage at Georgia.
Why wouldn't they? They're number 1.
They've been number 1 for years.
Yeah. And they'd be even a steeper number 1 if it weren't for those bastard Wolverine, Michigan people stealing signs. Confirmed.
I love that UGA is clapping and chanting to fuck up the other team's audibles. they're basically mocking them. So like they'll be like blue 42, hut, and the whole Georgia line is like blue, 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 clap, 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 clap. Like they're like fucking with them, and they keep getting. And if they get caught, it's like a 5-yard penalty. But they like do it under their breath or something.
No, that should 100%.
And they'll be like
allowed.
pointing. They'll be like, hey, 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 and the guys, everybody plays dumb, and the refs like, well, I oughta.
When you have a helmet, you can like do shit in there. Like, don't move. Just be like, hut, hut, hut. You know, like, and try and get the other guys to jump. But
this damn pollen on this field. I keep almost sneezing.
Yeah. But you do so much as that, and then they call you.
I really hope we win that 3rd national title. That to me is a dynasty. When you get 3, 2 can happen as a fluke, but 3 just you did something.
Not a fluke.
I know, right?
Who
amongst us doesn't have back-to-back national championships?
I mean,
yeah. Well, who does?
But who's got
Alabama?
3 in a fucking row?
Does Alabama have 3 in a row?
There's no way,
because they were a dynasty.
Look, I'm not an expert, but I'd be surprised if anybody's got 3 in a row. But
USC claims they do, but they don't. There was a time before the playoffs where, like,
Pete Carroll?
Maybe they won the coaches, but not the national. It was something like that. Like they declared themselves the other national champ, and then they won 2 more legit. And that's real close. That's close enough for me. I remember that's before the playoff system. That's probably Is that Pete? I can picture the coach. He's like a young, handsome guy. His name's probably not Pete Carroll. Probably wrong. I'm not sure.
But that's pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. I said Pete Best after he finished with the.
I don't know who that is.
Wasn't he a Beatle?
No.
Yes, he was. This is why I love trivia. Yes, he was. Not only was Pete Best a Beatle, after he got cut from the band, he made his own little album called The Best
Rolling Stone.
It was called The Best of the Beatles.
Fuck you. Best of the Beatles.
Oh, Best of the Beatles. Did he really? That's good. I like that.
That makes sense.
Best of the Beatles. Because he's best of the Beatles.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Speaking of trivia, I wrote some questions.
Oh, God bless your soul.
In the form of the whiteboard thing. I can't use the whiteboard tonight. I was so fucking excited to use the whiteboard, and I can't use the whiteboard.
Oh, wait. We're doing the whiteboard thing?
Yes.
Stand by.
Gonna get the whiteboard thing. I don't
want to talk about the whole trivia situation, but I was annoyed.
Yeah. Well, I could tell you were annoyed, and so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be good guy, Taylor, and write a quick, like, fucking 30 trivia questions and try to make them fun. I was like, I need to try and make it more even with like the topics that Kyle knows versus the ones that Woody knows. And so I put some in there for a series that you both know. That hopefully it's actually difficult questions. They seem difficult to me.
Oh, you got some like The Wire stuff?
Nope, not that one. You'll know when you get to it. It is a good one. I'll write down The Wire for another one.
Yeah, Woody and I both know The Wire fairly well. I would, obviously I'm incessant with my rewatches, so
I think you'd win a Wire head to head.
I would give that to him too. I can't hang with Kyle on old HBO shows.
I also learned I can't write anything about paramotors because Woody's gonna know it right away. Even when I'm like, oh, this is clever of me.
I feel like this part of my face is really getting left out of the action, but this is the most gory bit.
Well, when you get us at the angle you do, you can see it sticking out. Like,
yeah, see that?
It's quite the mess. That must have been a terrible driver.
Yeah. I mean, aren't
you
they
were
all
very injured? I like the black eye and like the sooty forehead. Like you were on the way home.
Korean grandma.
You know how when you multiply two negative numbers, you get a positive one?
Yeah.
So can Asian women drive?
No.
Okay. Nope. Unfortunately,
they can't even start the car.
And they can explain to you why mathematically.
They follow the addition rules. Okay, got it.
Oh, two wongs don't make a white. Two wongs can't make a white. That's like
I have my board and writing thing on its way.
All right, sweet. It was much easier to do the questions this time because I didn't have to do any multiple choice, and I only had to do one question per like category. I realized while writing them I don't have enough ideas for categories, so a couple got reused.
I like that.
I also like tried to reuse good ones.
I was gonna say the Francis Ngannou Tyson Fury fight I think is this weekend. Taylor, if you've got any like buddies who are planning on watching that and you want to make some easy money, if you can find a schmuck who will bet against Tyson Fury, you want to go ahead and take that easy money.
I'm doing a Halloween thing with some buddies this Saturday before those fights start, so maybe I'll try and coax one of them into a snafu.
Smoked.
Yeah, of course he is. He's not a professional boxer.
Yeah. So far, the pro boxers have beaten all the UFC guys, but even harder, the YouTubers.
Yep. Yeah. These pros, they're really good at what they do.
Turns out.
All right, Zach, let's throw it up there.
Taylor's Trivia Titans.
Yes.
All right.
My Titans. Like in Spartacus. That's how I picture it, is I'm the guy on the fucking banister or whatever, and I'm looking down and you guys are shredded
Give us a
in
salute,
underwear.
Commodore.
How do they? Well, I don't know.
Yes, it goes here and then
it goes
you gotta
here,
go. You want to make it real steep, though.
Down.
You want to come up high and steep.
All right.
Ent?
First question. Lord of the Rings. Which Ent led the forces of Fangorn Forest, along with Merry and Pippin, into Isengard? The home of Saruman, of course, you remember in the Two Towers. Merry and Pippin riding on his shoulders, getting marched in. All right, I couldn't hear that, Woody.
I don't know the answer, but I wrote something down. We'll see. Right. I bet Kyle knows this. I might go behind early.
I thought Kyle might know it, and I thought Woody might know it because of the rewatch recently, because he's really the only named Ent in the series. All right. Throw it up, your whiteboard.
Oh, my camera's... Hang on, let me fix that.
Wow. Woody and Kyle, both correct. Treebeard. And Kyle with the extra, voiced by Jonathan Rhys-Davies, a.k.a. Gimli. Now that I'm going to put I'm
gonna add useless shit next to answer.
100% do that because that's
no big deal. I just know the actor and the other character he plays.
Oh, mine's gonna be less related.
Who was it that Elaine's elderly partner claimed to have slept with? The classic episode, The Old Man, brought us a lot of laughs. The old man yelling at George, saying you're wasting my, and was like supposed to be like a buddy to her in her old age in this kind of social program. And that old woman had a tale that she had slept with a very famous geopolitical figure. And who was it? I'm shocked if Kyle hasn't got this one down pat.
I'm sorry. I don't think I do, Taylor. I don't think I do. I remember that episode very well, but I'm struggling.
All right.
I'm trying to reverse my camera.
Oh, that's
also failing at that.
It's okay. I can read it.
Fair. Thank you.
Are you ready, Kyle?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Ronald Reagan for Woody and Nelson Mandela for Kyle. Incorrect. It is Gandhi. Gandhi.
Right.
Mohandas used to rub his bald head in oil.
Fuck.
And rub it. I believe you missed that one. I thought that was
can't believe I didn't write Gandhi.
I should have kept thinking. I was annoyed by my camera. I'm taking a mulligan on that one.
All right, I'll jot that down. When I was reading it, I never would have guessed because I don't know UFC fighters. Sure. No. First name in there too.
No, because there's
first name too. You gotta shoot for the first name.
Okay.
Yeah, it can't be.
I don't know then. Yeah.
No, just fucking right.
I just watched a documentary about it and I still don't know. They explained why they sent the smaller one and not the good one. And there's a theory that either they sent him to really flex or it was a punishment to the good one because he'd gone off and done trained some other people or done something business.
Are you ready, Kyle?
Yes.
Yeah, Gracie. I don't know which one.
Don't add that. That's the full point. That's the full point for Woody. No point for Kyle because even I know that there's like possibly make up numbers at the end.
I just don't want you to be disrespected by another contestant of mine.
Yes.
Master since the start. I won't allow.
There was the word spelled Royce, pronounced Hoyce. I'd want to like one in that outfit.
Yeah. All right. Next question.
Ooh.
There's only one of them. There's some easy throwaway ones. The ones at the bottom of the map there. So I'll give that to you. Hawaii does not border any states. It is an island. And Alaska is close to Russia and Canada. And those are not part of the United States. Just one state. Just one, Kyle.
I'm just guessing.
Fuck!
You can't think?
Well, I've got it narrowed down to...
Geography whizzes. I was just second guessing myself because I know Vermont is up.
Yeah, I was afraid New York squeezed in there, but I don't have a better idea which state it could be.
Yeah, I found that tricky. You got it right. All right. Who is the only U.S. president to never win a general election at all? And who'd that be?
I feel like Kyle's going to know this better than me, and this is the kind of thing I'd find interesting.
You can definitely just use the last name if that simplifies it for you, Kyle.
You know it, Kyle? I think you might.
I have a guess.
It's the kind of thing I think Kyle might know. What's your guess?
Okay. Well,
Millard Fillmore?
Oh no! Can I take?
You're taking.
I can't write big. I'm horrible at it.
It is Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford never won. What are? And this is going to take some listing. What are the top 10 by retail sales retailers in the United States? List as many as possible. You can't use more than 10 guesses. E-commerce is included. What are the top? This is 2022. The top 10 retail sales retailers in the United States. You can't just list like 15 things. If you don't get 10, that's all right. And if you can't think of 10, that's okay.
Thanks. I'm not gonna think of 10. I hate this question. Where I gotta come up with.
So is it 1 point for whoever gets more? Is that?
Yeah. 1 point for whoever gets more. The top 10 retailers in the United States, 2022, e-commerce included. This is just think, Kyle, like retail.
I have no idea, Taylor.
How do you not know any?
I get like two things. I don't know. I don't know where things come from. I get my things from one place.
All right. I only need one place.
Well, then write that down and then add some more, Kyle. I can see Woody writing. He knows.
I really
retailers.
feel like he's gonna get 10. Like
I'm not going to get all 10. Why would I know like the 10?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get all 10 in like you might get something that's outside of the top 10, but yeah, retailers. Where are places you go to buy things? And which ones of them have lots of sales? I thought this one was not too hard to get some of them.
This is up your alley, though.
That's true.
Like,
yeah,
I thought everyone knew
I'm just going to
paramotor wasn't a company.
I'm never going to have it. Like
you got it. You're down on yourself.
Yeah,
you're gonna see the list and you're gonna be like, oh, I could have just thought when I drive down the road, what fucking retailers do I see?
Is McDonald's a retailer?
No.
Like you need to define what these things are, including e-commerce.
Yes,
they sell things in packages.
E-commerce. So like when you go to a brick and mortar retail store and you buy things off of the shelf, where do you go and which ones have the highest retail sales? And e-commerce included, of course. So if it's bought through an e-commerce retail distributor, that would be counted.
I'm going to forfeit because I don't know. I don't know.
Really?
I have 3 things.
How many are on your list so far?
3.
I have 9. I'm probably going to beat you.
Yeah,
let's see.
He's going to win. All right, let's see. Let's see the answers here.
I have Amazon, Walmart, Target, Dollar General, Etsy, Walgreens, CVS, and Home Depot, and Lowe's.
All right, I think
like first 3, yeah.
Yeah, Kyle definitely loses. I think Amazon, Walmart, Target, Walgreens, CVS, and Home Depot, either Home Depot or Lowe's. One of them's like 10, one of them's number 11. So Woody runs away with that one. I'm writing down there, if push comes to shove, extra half point for Woody down the road, because he just absolutely slaughtered you, and I did not like your stick-to-itiveness there, Kyle. I wish you would have.
We have a sassy trivia master.
It was a bad question. It gave us a lot of busy work. Should have been a
no, I just want to call out that my competitor is kind of disrespecting the trivia master.
That's a half point. He's right.
He deserves
he's right. He's just not a good sub.
All right. In the TV series The Boys, what is Black Noir allergic to? Black Noir allergic to something in The Boys.
I'll write it bigger.
Seemingly I saw online, this apparently was not, fans of the show did not think this was a very difficult one.
Yeah, I may have it wrong though. You ready, Woody?
Yeah.
Was it peanuts?
That's what I have.
Peanuts. Yes, it's nuts is the answer. You both get a point.
I thought it was going to be like cashews or like pistachios. I just remember he was eating like nuts out of a little bag, and it was
when he was kicking somebody's ass. Maeve snuck up behind him and gave him a Snickers, I think, and because he's allergic to nuts.
Oh, that sucks. He's got to be a Milky Way man. Still a good candy. I know Kyle disagrees.
I don't remember that part.
All right, little mythology. To the Greeks, Hades was the god of the underworld. What is his Roman name? As you know, the Greeks and the Romans had a lot of shared gods. Zeus, the king of all gods to the Greeks, was called Jupiter to the Romans.
I have no idea. I'm just guessing.
Jupiter. A lot interesting enough. A lot of our planets are named after the Roman version of the Greek gods.
Oh, wait.
There's Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea, and then what's the other one? There's Neptune. Yeah, so the Hades, Greek god of the underworld. What's the Roman name?
Is it a planet name?
I don't know. I hammered that hard right there. Kind of like, I believe.
I'm ready.
All right. What do we got? Kyle, have you written something down yet?
I have not.
All right. Well, I'm not going to say if that's correct. Kyle, write something down. Well, fuck, Zach. Think of God of War.
I didn't play that game.
I didn't either. I'm trying to think of something you would know. Uranus? Mm-hmm. No, that's incorrect. It is Pluto. Pluto is the Roman god of the underworld. One of our planets. It'll always be a planet to me.
Taylor's like, yeah, a lot of Roman gods were named after planets. I'm like, could that be a clue?
Could that be a clue?
A master of subtlety over.
I think the planet was named after the god, though.
Right?
I don't even know if I told you right. I'm not sure.
This is the fruit category. Fruit. There is only one fruit with seeds on the outside. What is it? All the other fruits got their seeds on the inside. The tomato, a fruit. Interesting enough. Not interesting.
You ready, Kyle?
Yeah.
Right.
Me too.
What do we got here?
Strawberry.
That's what I also
Strawberry. Correct. The only fruit with seeds on the outside. Kyle crawling his way back in.
Wait, I got it too.
I know. I'm just trying to make it exciting.
I'm stiff arming that baby over there with my Waldo arms.
See, right now, Woody is ranked 1 in the country. Right now. All right, next question, Zach.
It's only because of the crooked coaches poll.
All right. List these historic figures by date of death, earliest to latest. Attila the Hun, Genghis Khan, Leif Erikson. The picture, of course, is SpongeBob celebrating Leif Erikson Day. Classic episode. Happy Leif Erikson Day. This is what Patrick says to him. Attila the Hun, Genghis Khan, Leif Erikson.
I got blood on my marker board.
Oh, dear.
Earliest
to latest by date of death. Could also be date of birth. It's not like these guys were that close.
Yeah, I'm going to say this and then that. And then
Attila the Hun, Genghis Khan.
Okay, I'm ready.
Erikson. All right, show them.
I said Khan, Attila, then Leif.
I said the order he wrote them because that's been the answer every other time.
Ooh, you're both wrong. It is Attila the Hun died in 453 AD, right around the fall of the Roman Empire. Leif Erikson, 1020 AD. Genghis Khan, 1227
This is
AD.
your fault. Your question listed them out of order, and you've never done that before.
I'm throwing fucking curveballs.
You are.
like a left-handed wiffle ball pitcher.
All right, bring it. What you got?
All right, this is the fish category. Lightly salted fermented Baltic Sea herring is a traditional Swedish cuisine known for its pungent odor. What is it called? It's been used in shows like Fear Factor, a lot of challenge shows, because it can clear a room with how disgusting it smells. I don't even think the Swedes like it. I think it's something that they pretend.
Are you ready, Woody?
All right.
Yeah, I think I have it wrong.
So let me go first, if I may, because I don't know.
I'll allow that.
I spelled something that sounds like lutefisk.
That's a good ass guess. That's a really good guess. Lutefisk. There's
Guess
a question.
Not, though.
Is lutefisk?
So I have my real answer, which I think is wrong, and then a second one, just in case.
Yes.
It's not anchovies, is it?
No.
Is it locked?
No, it's surströmming. Surströmming.
We were both so close.
You were both so close.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it's just something they eat on.
See, lutefisk is actually the common dialect.
Number of countries in Europe.
This is above or below, over or under. Are there more or less countries in Europe than 40? More or less? You got a 50-50 shot.
I'm done.
You sure?
No, not in the slide.
Don't change the answer because I
changed it. I changed it. You cut the blue wire.
All right, there we go. What's the answer?
I said less.
Ooh, I also went with under.
It's more. There's 44.
Wait.
Woody with the point. Woody with the point there. My God. Last second. I think that might be
flip his board.
He did.
There's no say. I don't know. I mean,
garbage.
Some people say that, but people lie.
How many countries are in Europe? Like, we don't have any idea. We're spit. Next time, ask heads or tails.
I thought it was a good easy, not easy because I wouldn't have known exactly how many.
And I ran out of those personalized questions real quick.
Yeah, right.
All right. This South Pacific island nation is also a brand of beverage. This South Pacific island nation is also a beverage brand.
Ready?
Yep.
Fiji.
There you go. See, I add ones in after ones that I assume will frustrate you.
Is that an appeasement question?
What's the first letter in Fiji?
Yeah, little appeasement question. Get a sniff in. Get another sniff in on that.
I'm dripping bloody.
Oh, I thought you were going with your Sharpie.
No, it doesn't give me anything.
It's not working.
7-5, anyone's game. Let's see the next question. This is the rank 1 and rank 2 players in the country.
Don't you have any more questions out?
All right. In the season 2 episode of Always Sunny, $100 Baby, what is Charlie's fighter name? Charlie's fighter name, Mac, or Dennis originally was going to sign Mac up as a fighter or sign Charlie up as a fighter in an underground league, and they had to come up with a fighter name for Charlie.
I don't know. I don't watch season 2.
What?
No.
That's crazy. It's a great season. All right. You don't have any guess. You can't think the.
No.
All right. Show it.
Crazy Horse?
Crazy Horse. No. But not too far away. Kyle didn't give a guess. Clown Baby. Clown Baby. The name of his.
Taylor wouldn't have gotten that out of multiple choice.
I'm like, did he do a subtle hint again?
No. I thought you were going to get that one. See, you don't watch season 2. That's insane.
No.
All right. This actor, featured in Gremlins 2, also plays Count Dracula in the 1958 film Dracula. Who is it? Big time actor.
Kyle questions. If the next question isn't what's Woody's brother's
hang on, leave it up.
This isn't fair.
Leave it up. Leave it up.
I got to read that over and over.
This actor, featured in Gremlins 2, also plays Count Dracula in the 1958 film Dracula. Who is it? Played Dracula in one of the famous Dracula remakes. I guess it would be a remake because originally Dracula was like in the 20s or something.
Yeah.
Who played Dracula? I would be surprised if no one gets this.
Yeah, I'm not going to get it.
Kyle doesn't know this? I thought this is the sort of thing he'd know.
I don't like the black and white Dracula movies. I don't watch any of that stuff.
Okay, let's go.
Boris Karloff?
Did you make that up? Is that his name? Boris Karloff? No, it's Christopher Lee.
Okay. Well, maybe one of his
fat white dude. No, he was the skinny white dude.
Any other thing Christopher Lee had ever done would have been helpful.
That's why I picked Gremlins 2, because I thought it would be too easy to go. Because the old trivia about Christopher Lee is like, do you know he played Dracula in the 50s? That's how long he's been acting.
But
now.
I don't know. So first of all, I've seen Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2, it was a red herring. It was meant to throw you off.
Where was he featured? Like that's a movie.
I don't know. I looked up what other movies was he in, and I looked through his IMDb. And I'm like, Gremlins 2. That's funny to add in as though it's helpful.
No one will ever get that. Yeah. I don't know.
No, everybody in the comments is agreeing. All right. Who preceded Vladimir Putin as president of Russia? Little hint here. The office began with this guy. There's only been 2 presidents of Russia. So who was president of Russia before Putin?
Fuck, I know this normally. I've talked about him before.
You have. You've both talked about him before.
Yeah.
We've had conversations about this guy.
Yeah, he was on TV the other day, like talking.
I thought when I wrote this, I'm like, this is more of a Woody one. I think he'll get it.
I don't think I have it right. And if I do, I'm not sure it's close enough.
All right. No, Kyle, you go ahead. Sorry.
I would get it with multiple choice for sure.
All right. Show him.
I don't know. Yeah.
I put Boris Yeltsin.
Yeltsin. That is correct. All Boris Yeltsin, the first president of Russia.
But Putin was president, and then he relinquished it, and then that other guy took over, and then he took it back again. Like, we're not counting that. That wasn't the right answer?
Boris Yeltsin was the president before Putin.
Okay.
So
there are 2 people who were president before Putin, technically, then?
Were there? I don't fucking think so, man.
Only one could be right. Oh, because he went twice.
Yeah.
Did the same guy precede him both times? I'm not sure.
No. That's the name I was searching for. If I had known Boris Yeltsin was
the president of Russia from 1991 to 1999.
Well, I knew Boris Yeltsin. I was looking for the guy.
Before that, it was USSR. Probably.
You know, this is unorthodox, Kyle. I'm going to give you the point anyway.
I don't want points. I want questions that make sense.
I'm kidding. I'll give him the point. Look at whose line is anyway up in this bitch. Yeah, half point because he did know it, kind of. All right, the high appeaser.
I just know that the question is bad.
The question's not bad. It's the
there are two different answers, and you're like,
what's the other answer?
No, because the other one wasn't a president of Russia. He was a USSR czar or whatever.
Yes, the first president of Russia.
Okay, so Boris Yeltsin was before Putin, and then Putin retired, and another guy took over for him for like years, and then Putin took over again. So I thought the correct answer should be that guy who was the president during that interim, because he's the most recent person who was president before Putin.
All right, if you give me his name, you get the point.
Yeah, I told you I don't remember his name, but I wish that I'd known that Boris Yeltsin was a possibility, because he's like,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was Dmitry Medvedev is who you're talking about, but he was first deputy prime minister of Russia, not president.
Medvedev.
The name of this candy. What?
All right, these disgusting, subjective, chalky candy discs were available in flavors including lemon, lime, clove, cinnamon, and wintergreen. Something thought of now as an old lady candy, kind of. Very gross.
Is that a picture of them?
No, that's if you saw a picture of it, you would immediately know. Has an iconic chalky candy disc look. And I included the flavors like clove and cinnamon and wintergreen, so you know this is not a modern tasty candy. It's the kind of candy that would be bullied. Not as much as Good and Plenty's, but it would be bullied by the other candies were they to be anthropomorphized.
I don't know it. Kyle, do you?
No idea.
Did you write anything?
No. I could write like
Lifesavers?
Lifesavers, no. Necco wafers.
Oh,
Necco wafers.
Yeah.
I remember having those as a kid and being like, this is fucking dog shit. This is the worst candy in the world. I hate these. All right, next question. Kyle's getting a little aggravated. All right. What are the first 5 books of the Old Testament? Whoever gets the most right.
I refuse again. I won't take part in these whoever gets the most right nonsense that gives me a bunch of busy work.
It's 5 words, you fucking idiot.
It's so much laziness on your part. Why wouldn't there be multiple choice or something so we can be like, boop, boop.
I can't do multiple choice.
Name 5 books?
Just name, what are the 5 books? What are the fucking first books in the Old Testament?
All right, I have my 5.
All right.
These are gonna be all
it's Moses and the Sorcerer's Stone, Moses and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Like, you should know this, Kyle. You know of the Lord.
Why I would know this.
You're from the South.
I don't know shit about this.
She's so aggravated.
Kyle being hateful.
These are good ass questions.
It's fucking.
I wonder what his answers are.
Okay. We ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Genesis, Judges, Psalms, Romans, Joshua.
Genesis, you got it. There's one. What do you got?
One?
Woody? Yep.
I put the book of Luke, the book of Mark, the book of Matthew, the book of John, and in Leviticus.
In a stunning turn of events, Woody does not get Genesis. Kyle gets a point for 1 out of 5. Wow.
Oh,
you guys are going to hell.
no, because it's not real.
I haven't even been baptized. Take that half point away. I hate it.
All right, take the half point away from Kyle. I deduct half a point from Kyle for his fucking attitude about these questions.
There's a reason you don't have any points.
Give it to me.
Because Chiz was too lazy to make this game properly.
Well, and so I, 2 hours before the show, was like,
I know, I'm mad at him and I'm misplacing it onto you. I'm sorry.
Well, thank you.
I did my best. I love you and appreciate that you did this with such little time.
That means a lot to me. All right, next question. This one's not about the Bible, so it should help.
Oh, good.
Thoros is a red priest. Game of Thrones question. Thoros is a red priest. From what city is Thoros from? What city?
Oh,
they call him
Game of Thrones question.
Yes. Thanks. Game of Thrones question. They even refer to him throughout the show and the books as Thoros of somewhere.
Yeah,
they include the city in his name and his title. What? That's surprising.
Not it.
Thoros
I mean, I cut the cord on that after the thing. You know, like
it was still good when he was bouncing around when he was in the show.
Maybe it was a picture of the actor. I would have some inkling.
He is the guy. He's going around in the red cloak, obviously, the whole time.
It's a real dark show. I couldn't tell. I don't remember anybody in a red cloak.
All right. What's the
Thoros
city
of
name?
Genesis to get a half point on the previous question.
He misspelled Genesis, deduct a half point.
I played enough code words to know I can get it from the previous question.
That's true. You can just do that. So, yeah, it's the fucking dumbest trivia thing ever. They can just come back and get it in the next turn. No, add that. No, add that. Give Woody has 8 points. This isn't a fucking joke.
Wait, why did you take a point?
All right,
He's
Kyle.
willy-nilly with these points.
He's capricious with these half points. Kyle, do you have a city name? Any guesses?
Nah, no.
Thoros
of Mir.
That's a point for Kyle.
Let's go. Let's go.
Up, really?
Ooh.
That's big. Thoros of Mir. Wow. That's good. That's what they call him. That's what they call him throughout the show. The Red Priest, Thoros of Mir. Next question. All knotted up at 8.
Damn.
All right. I had to look this up. What is the name of the dwarf who created Stormbreaker in Avengers Infinity War? I believe, and I'm going by context clues here because I haven't seen the film, no, I did see this one actually. It's Peter Dinklage, right?
It is, yeah.
Yes, Peter Dinklage plays this dwarf. He's
I don't know.
Hephaestus or something.
He's a giant dwarf or something confusing.
Yeah. Stormbreaker is Thor's hammer, right? So
it was the new one that he made for him. Yeah.
What is his name? What's that dwarf's name?
Yeah. I don't know.
I also don't know. Let's move on.
Oh, okay. Move on from this one. His name is
Sant.
Yes, this is Tay's faves. And what is my current favorite candle scent? I will pick which one is superior. How well do you know your buddy Taylor? What kinds of scents does he enjoy? What kinds of scents does he abhor? Kyle writing feverishly. And this is what some would call the most absurd subjective question.
So I've designed a candle for you, Taylor, that features sandalwood, leather, and vanilla.
Ooh, what are you
sandalwood too?
Sandalwood.
Oh.
I have to give you both a point because sandalwood is one of my favorite scents. So it equaled out back to just sandalwood. In ancient Rome, what was a vomitorium? What was a vomitorium in ancient Rome?
I'm ready.
It is an amusing.
I think I have this wrong, but I'll try.
I just wrote the N word over and over.
Ooh. Ooh, 10 points for Kyle bravery. All right, Kyle says an exit. And what does Woody say?
I feel like Kyle knew it. A room where you vomit and rally to eat more.
No, incorrect. It is a vomitorium is what they referred to as the large exits from amphitheaters because it looked like it was vomiting people back onto the street. Huge exits from amphitheaters and coliseums. So Kyle,
I had an opportunity to writ exit because Taylor gave me the answer while I was still writing mine, and I didn't take it.
That's true.
We would have seen you doing a lot of this, though.
Just shaking it up, man. Kyle, it's turning this franchise around. All right, California produces 98% of the U.S. domestic product of what food? What food does California make shitloads of? Boxes, barrels, bags, bins, crates of this food, huge amounts. And California is one of the only places in the U.S. that it's getting grown, 98%.
That's not right. My answer's not right. Fuck.
Mine's probably wrong, too. I wouldn't worry.
Do you have another thought, Kyle?
Well.
Or do you not want to second guess yourself?
Produce. Southern California. It's not the wines.
It's all of California.
And it's produce.
Is it produce? Did Taylor say
no,
that?
No.
Oh, hang on.
It's food. Not necessarily. It could be produce, but it's not necessarily produce. It's just domestic product of what food? I just saw. I saw a little sparkle in Kyle's.
Okay, I'm ready. I guess. I don't think I'm right.
What's your answer?
All right.
Well, I was going to say lettuce because I know they make a tremendous amount.
I was going to say lettuce. Yeah.
But then he said they make 98% of it, so I changed it to the devil's lettuce, meaning marijuana.
Incorrect. That's not right. What do you got, Woody?
I'm probably wrong. I just happen to know this factoid about like water being incredibly misused somewhere over there to make almonds.
Almonds. No, that's close. It's pistachios. They're making all the pistachios over there, and it is a bad misattribution of water, apparently, but who cares? Pistachios rule. Excellent. All right, next question. This military drama featuring Guy Pearce won the Oscar for Best Picture in 2010. Not necessarily starring Guy Pearce, but Guy Pearce was in it. I couldn't say who it was starring or it would give it away. Best Picture in 2010. Military drama.
Best Picture.
I don't, man.
13 years ago.
I believe in both of you.
Why would you believe in me on a movie thing against Kyle? You actually don't. You're just lying. You're saying that to be nice, but you believe in Kyle.
It's not that.
It's not the one I'm thinking of either, because the one I'm thinking of is too old.
It's a huge movie that year.
Military drama.
All right. If neither of you got it, I'll say it was starring.
You ready?
Oh, okay.
No.
Or do you want the extra hint? You want me to say who it was starring?
Sure. If Woody does.
Sure. Yeah, I'll say yes.
Starring. I think his name's Jeremy Renner, the Hawkeye guy.
Yes.
Okay. Well, now I know the fucking answer. Thank you.
Why don't you tell the class?
Thank you.
If you know it so well, say it out loud. Don't just write it.
Actually,
put your money where your mouth is there.
I'm going to write.
Motherfucker.
I have Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker. I see nothing wrong with the way you guys are doing. Wow, both of you knew that equally.
Madness.
Hurt Locker.
I don't know about that one.
I'll get 101 points.
I couldn't come up with that. No, yeah.
All right. Next question.
Guy Pearce was in that movie. I still don't remember.
think I got a point for that.
I just went to like.
Guy Pearce is the guy who dies in the beginning scene of the fucking movie, you asshole. He dies in the first 5 minutes. He's the guy that dude replaces, I think.
It might be. I just looked at
the Mediterranean Sea.
What is the largest island in the Mediterranean Sea? Really not difficult if you think about it.
Yeah, it is, Taylor. Yeah, it is. It is. Are we ready?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Malta? Is it Malta?
Oh, that's funny. I have Malta too.
No, it is Sicily.
Yeah.
Sicily, far and away, the largest.
Didn't know it was a fucking island.
In the Mediterranean. It was an island? It's the thing the boot's kicking.
That's because your people are from there. You know that. We don't know that. We're real whites.
All right. I put 3. This is the beginning of the Star Trek. There's 3 Star Treks in a row because you guys both know Star Trek very well. What species known to the Borg as Species 329 were deemed unworthy of assimilation? Known to the Borg as Species 329, they were deemed unworthy of assimilation by whatever the Borg is, which I think they were just a total assimilation race. So they wanted to. It's a good name. They want Borg.
I'm only guessing, but
yeah, give me a moment, please. I'm trying to come up with this, but it's like
a moment. Take 2.
You're out of moments now. That
based on what property, I would love to know, right? Because it's like
I didn't look at. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I've never. Because there's so much.
Are the Borg in all of them?
Yeah, exactly. So when was this defined? You know, when did we hear about Species 329? When was
a guess up there, Kyle.
In the 20th century show.
I'm guessing. I don't know it, so you don't have to work. You
know. I don't know then.
Oh, guess a species or something.
Well, I can't. They put too much pressure. I can't come up with it now.
You can do it, man.
Have you had your Blue Chew? Maybe you could perform under pressure.
Yeah.
Well, I can't come up with one that would be that makes sense. So I don't really have it.
I think mine makes sense. All right, should we just do it? Go.
Yeah.
Say do it.
I put Klingon because they're so different and aggressive, and I thought maybe they wouldn't like them.
Klingon? No, it's the Kazan.
Oh.
The Kazan species. I didn't know if that was hard or not. I went to a trivia place for Star Trek, and it was like middle of the list from like.
My guess is that is a 1 episode in Voyager or in a series that I haven't seen before.
Well, I did not know. Next one. Data had a cat. What was Data's cat's name?
Oh, I'm going to know it after you tell me.
Don't you want to know what sex Data's cat was?
Sure. Include that as an addendum, and it could be the difference maker in the end. Data's cat. You wouldn't think a space robot, which I'm pretty sure is what he is, space android, would have a cat, but he does. What is his cat's name?
I'm ready.
Sparkles. I don't know it.
It's a Spot. And
Spot.
Early on, it was male, but later on during the episode where they all get devolved, Spot got devolved to an iguana while having kittens. So clearly, Spot had gotten off and gotten banged by one of the other Enterprise cats. So they changed that detail.
Very good. 1 for 2 on the Star Trek. All right. This one I thought seemed easy. What is the Klingon homeworld? What is the Klingon homeworld? And Zach, get rid of cheated next to Woody's. Woody's did not. As the commissioner, I'm a Pats fan, and Woody's the Pats, and he can deflate all he wants.
He just took a half pound out of Woody's ball.
The
Woody, what is your middle name?
What is the Klingon homeworld? I'm going to know it for sure after I hear it. I've heard it 100 times.
The Klingon homeworld. This one I thought was like not too difficult because the Klingons, even I know, they're like a big part of that show. They're not one of the Kazan races. All right, you got it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kyle, go first.
Kronos.
I believe that is correct. It was spelled on the site Qonos. Did I spell it weird? Kronos?
Oh, who knows? Well, how do you even interpret the Klingon alphabet? You know, you can learn that. Like it's a defined language. You can learn Klingon.
Well, I guess people do that with Elvish too, but that's pretty sweet. From Lord of the Rings.
I wrote Klingon. I thought maybe the Klingons were from Klingon. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got it wrong.
That could be a good question. Yeah, that's a point for Kyle. All right. Next category, Simpsons. What is the name of Ned Flanders' store in the Springfield Mall? Ned, in one of the early seasons, early-ish season, opened up a store in the Springfield Mall.
Do you know it, Kyle?
I think so. I'm ready to show.
Yeah, I'm close.
Right.
Leftorium?
I also have Leftorium.
Boom! Both of you get Leftorium correct. And he, of course, goes under because he's validating everyone's parking and giving things away for free.
And Homer wasn't sending him all the business.
No, Homer was like, people were like, these damn right-handed scissors, and Homer's just like not sending them there. All right. This is Walking Dead. What animal does Daryl Dixon wear as a necklace? He's got a little necklace with an animal on it. What animal is on Daryl Dixon's necklace?
The heck?
Daryl Dixon, of course, the crossbow man.
Now, could you phrase the question more specifically, like more better?
More better.
Is he wearing a skull as a necklace, or is he wearing a necklace that is made to appear to be a skull of some kind?
He is wearing a necklace that is either made of or resembling an animal.
So it could be either, or it's both.
Well, I say that because I didn't know the answer to this. I just saw it online. And so I
know this, Kyle?
Told that.
Do you know? I'm going to say that it was a possum's penis.
A possum's penis. No, what is it?
I put rabbit.
Rabbit. No, it was a squirrel. He had a squirrel necklace around his neck.
Okay.
Daryl Dixon, the squirrel hunter, another nickname from the show. All right, final question. You know, the natural place to end, question 31.
31 flavors.
Speaking of Lutefisk, that's funny. In King of the Hill Season 3 episode Revenge of the Lutefisk, who ended up being the man with the terrible smell? One of the characters on the show devoured an entire tray that served 40 of lutefisk, a rancid fish dish brought by the new, I want to say Wisconsin.
It was Daryl.
It was Daryl.
Is there a Daryl on that show?
I'm prepared.
All right, you're prepared. It is not Daryl. Who is the man with the terrible smell?
I was guessing it was Bill.
No, Incorrect.
Was it Joe Jack?
Bobby ends up being the man with the terrible smell.
Of
Cotton
course.
Hill takes the fall as the man with the terrible smell, and then eventually Bobby comes out and says, "It was me. I'm the man with the terrible smell." And then,
wow,
I was up like 8-6, and I'm like, "This is an insurmountable lead." Kyle has like a sour attitude. I'm like, "This is going so swimmingly."
I'm so upset about that retail store question. It's like, give me some.
you're so mad about that. Was like the 6th question.
It's like it's like question 37. Do my taxes. Fuck you. I want you busy work.
I could do your taxes.
I don't want to write 10 things.
That's going to be an instant win for Woody if he does my taxes for me. 100 points for Gryffindor in that circumstance. Yeah. Well, good victory. A narrow victory, Kyle.
I think I won the last time, maybe?
Yes.
Or was it a tie?
Yes, I believe you won last time. So I think that makes it you guys are 1-1. You know, you're 1-1 in conference games.
The coveted PKA Cup can only be held by one man. So hopefully
Yes.
in the grand finals.
And in the end, the thing about this trivia contest is at any point I can add or take away points.
There were a ton of movie and TV questions in there.
Yeah, I hated it, and again, it's not. I really appreciate all of Taylor's quick work to fall on this, because I've just got so much hate in my heart about this subject. Just so much fucking anger and fury, because I wanted to do the thing, and then it was like, oh, let's not do the thing, let's do this other thing, and I'll do it. And it was like, all right, hands off. And then here we are weeks later, whoopsie daisy. Now Taylor's got to do something the last minute, and it's just making me like.
I mean, I hear your point, but as the loser, I think I should be focusing my hate on Taylor. Right? Taylor's asked all the wrong questions.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, they're not all going to be winners. Like, so often I'm like, oh, I could put another one in here that's like, what country doesn't border fucking Italy? And then I'm like,
geography's more fair than like 13 years ago. Well, I actually got this one right. What was the movie that won Best Picture?
Yeah, well, I didn't know.
I would like some questions that require.
Yeah, if I have to be the arbiter again, math. I need you guys to send me like 7 or 8 categories each, and I'll do a question from each of that category. No, like a full one, like 8 things.
Well, you don't have to like be in our. It doesn't have to be that. I would recommend just using Jeopardy categories. I think that's the trick. Is go back to old episodes of Jeopardy, Celebrity Jeopardy, and there you go. It's pre-made game.
I'll do something like that then, because it would be much. If
I have to do an over and under again, I'm going to kill myself.
But it's the easiest thing, over or under. You guys both missed it. It's not like
I hate over and under, but nothing is as bad as.
Why do you hate over and under?
Name 30. Name the top 10 highest scoring basketball players from 1996. What? No, I'm not going to write 30 people's fucking names. I hated that question.
I know you did. And as soon as I asked it, and you know what? Naive idiot that I am, I'm like, oh, this will be fun. He'll have a little fun with this one. And then Woody blew your back out.
No, I hated it. I refuse to take part. He absolutely would have gotten more than me, because I hated the question so much. My brain
got more. Like it was hypothetical.
Yeah.
I mean, I quit immediately because I refused to take part.
I tried to lead you to water, where I was like, no. What stores do you see? CVS.
It was a little weird to me that it seemed like Kyle didn't know 10 stores.
No, I don't know. It's like coming up with 10 stores is hard. I don't want to.
It's weird to me that it's not front of like Home Depot, Lowe's. You've heard of these retail places.
Sure.
Yeah, CVS, Walgreens.
Yeah, I thought of them. I just didn't want to write them. I didn't want the.
Well, it is true.
The
writing
busy work
Walgreens
of forcing me to write things was what I would rather lose the point and move the game to a question that doesn't require a whole bunch of writing.
Was your Sharpie? Did it have more friction than mine? Because I didn't think it was hard to write.
I mean, CVS.
I just didn't want to.
3 letters.
I will forfeit any question that requires me to write 10 different things.
You should write your high school teachers and apologize for who you were.
I absolutely won't do it. I won't.
Well, okay, don't write them.
And I've never seen a game where that was a question.
You know what? Next
When's
week.
The last time Jeopardy said, name the top 10 scoring players from Major League Baseball.
We're not doing
giving me ideas.
Doing my
I want to be the quiz master next time.
Yeah, do that. We can switch around. Someone else do. I don't need to be the trivia writer.
Us playing the game. We're supposed to have a quiz master here.
How about this? There's a good question for next week. All right, whoever lists more two-digit numbers.
I would like some like reasoning questions, like not necessarily math, but like, I don't know, 2 cars doing 2 things, like which one's going to get there.
You don't write CVS, but you want to do math.
I want to do common sense reasoning things. Like if you showed me a ball that was going to travel down 3 different paths, and you asked me which one gets there the fastest, A, B, or C. Multiple choice is fucking key to this game, by the way.
It was
got multiple choice.
Well, that makes it. You have to write so much more.
You know, they're kind of complicated, but you visualize pouring water in from this side, and then it's like which one would fill last.
Oh yeah, I like those
first.
Yeah, those are hard.
That would be fun.
Yeah, they can be hard. Maybe if I think they're easy, I'm not getting it, so I don't know. But
I don't know. I've seen a bunch of the one. I've only seen one.
Yeah, that would be a good time.
And I stared at it for a while, and I was like, "Fuck all this." And then I read the comments, and they were like, "Actually,
you know the ones I don't." So there's these math questions where they ask order of operations, but sometimes I think it's not completely clear.
It's not completely clear. That's why they're. For some reason, I'm on the homework subreddit, so it's like parents presenting their homework, like, "Hey, me and my wife can't figure this one out. What gives?"
Yeah.
And the answer will often be that the phrasing is poor. That actually, Medvedev is the better answer because he is the most recent person who was president before Putin. He was the president of the country, right?
He was not president. He was first deputy secretary.
What is Putin?
President of the Russian Federation. Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
How sure?
So sure that I Googled it as I was writing that question. And then it said
Medvedev was in charge for a while.
If you go to Boris Yeltsin's page,
it doesn't matter.
Preceded by.
Well,
or I'm sorry.
Again, I've explained why that's irrelevant. If I had not been mistakenly thinking that Medvedev took over for him, then I would have known Boris Yeltsin, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter because I won nonetheless. The uphill battle with the tricked questions, every step of the way.
Even with your 1 point attitude deduction,
defenders hanging off me left and right like the bulldozer.
Medvedev was prime minister. I don't know if prime minister is different than president, or president is a Russian title. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I agree. For a guy who goes twice, asking who's before him is an imperfect question.
I'll be honest with you. I finished writing these questions at like 5:35, and we started
again.
6, so.
It's misplaced anger. Thank you so much for making a game with 2 hours of time while you put a costume together. Thank you. Everyone's appreciative, and it was wonderful. But I hated it.
Well, I want to do, and we should let's just have Zach be the clue master next time,
okay.
And then we can all.
I know Chiz has a whole thing set up, but he had a fucking emergency come up, and
we just have him give his setup to Zach, and then Zach can run it because he's always here, and then we'll do it because I want to be able to.
But Chiz will come on the show to do it.
I thought that was the deal, that he was going to come on the show and host the game for us, and so that's why I was annoyed, is because he had a thing that came up today. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. I'm just mad at the situation.
I thought he was making it for Taylor, but I might misunderstand the situation.
No, he made it sound like he wanted to run it because I was like 2 weeks ago or whatever, after we did the first one last week, I don't remember. I was like, man, I want to be able to answer them too. And he was like, oh, you can, because I'll run it. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, if he's too busy, we can always have Zach jump in and do it.
I bet Chiz does a good job with the questions.
I bet Chiz does a fantastic job with the questions. I'm excited for it. I love trivia when the questions are good, and when people don't put poor Taylor in a position where he has to make such terrible questions, because that's not fair to Taylor.
Right. It makes Taylor look retarded. To do this to him.
Yeah,
most of them were pretty good.
Don't make Taylor look like this again.
No one's blaming you, Taylor. We're just saying you looked really bad.
We're just saying that people are going to hate it, you retard.
Yeah. I'm not saying you did a bad job. I'm saying you were put in a position where you did a terrible job.
I was set up to fail. Is what it is. That's what it was.
Look, thank you. I enjoyed that. I'm glad we got our marker boards. There'll be more trivia to come.
Yeah, and I got my marker board fucking untouched.
I'm gonna get a smaller marker board next time.
Yes.
Yeah, right. See, it was like $2 more for a much bigger one, and I was like, "Oh, got to upgrade." And I really should have gotten that little one that was like the size of this piece of paper.
I have a little electric one. Do you know what a boogie board is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. To me, a boogie board is like a toy you play in the surf with. But
okay, that is
it's
what
also,
it is to me as well.
Yeah.
If you Google it, you'll find that it's like an electronic whiteboard.
Ah.
Oh, fancy. I didn't know that.
Dude,
you just need a regular old dry erase though for this.
I got one. I'm good. But that sounds interesting. I just remember the old thing where you peel the plastic back and the letters go away.
Oh yeah, that would be an aggravate, and then it stops working. Like because you have to.
I don't know anybody who used that toy for more than a day.
It was a way. It was a way that you could write bad words and show your friend and go nee, and then
you got your calculator.
And then my mom walks over and is like, "Why is there an N embedded into this?"
Yeah, I wish I'd gotten this instead.
Colin uses it. I forget if it's speech therapy or reading therapy or whatever it is, but we have them in the house.
Neato. Zach, I sent you a picture earlier on WhatsApp in the group. Can you show them this gigantic rat that they shot in Ukraine in the fucking the tunnels or whatever?
Looking at that picture, are you sure the gun's that size?
Dude, I've looked at that picture so much, and what I'm looking at is the gun close up and the rat close up, because I'm trying to tell if one of them is a zoomed in image, and so like the clarity of it would be off or something. But man, it looks real to me. And look, I maybe I'm easy to get one over on, but that looks like a real fucking rat. Maybe it's not a rat, but maybe it's some sort of giant nutria or something that they have there.
Yeah,
but they said it was a rat on the internet, and that tail is so long. And
so nutria.
As a gun expert, and I look at that gun and think it's a miniature, like it's not a real gun. But I if you say it's real, then that's the kind of thing you know.
I mean, I don't see anything about that gun that says fake. You know,
I just look at like the size of the clumps of dirt and rocks and twigs, and I'm like, they all look in proportion to the rat, but not the gun to my eye.
You can kind of see some footprints up in the top, but you know, you got to be Apache Joe to make anything of those.
No, I think you're literally right about the nutria thing. They do have like those big ass rat looking rodents.
The rodents of unusual size.
Yes,
RUSs.
I believe it's just a legend.
What are those big giant rodents that they have in like Southeast Asia that are like the size of dogs?
Called? The largest rodent.
Oh, those things are cool as shit. They're like super chill. The capybara.
Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah. Right. They're like, they'll sit there with like I've seen them like taking warm baths and chilling out, and I've seen them with like farm animals just grooming them, and they just sit there like a dog. You know when you like scritch a dog just right, and he just kind of stares off and is like, yeah. Like they just do that 24/7. They're friendly with every animal in their ecosystem. They're just chill with everything.
And they just get a bad rap for being a rodent.
I don't think they get a bad rap. Capybara, cool. People have them as pets. Look how, I mean, it looks like a cartoon.
It looks like photoshopped. Like it's so weird looking.
So
I'm told they're super friendly. And every time I see a video of one, they're like snuggling a dog or playing with another animal in a non-aggressive way.
Yeah, I would definitely have one of those. Like, look at that fucker.
I like an animal that's not scared. Like dogs are curiously outgoing for something that doesn't have a lot of attacks. This is a little off topic. It turns out I like venomous fish. We have some fish with venomous fangs, some fish with venom and spikes, and you'd think they'd be a real problem or aggressive or assholes. No. Fish with venomous fangs swim out in the middle like they don't give a fuck. Yeah. They go and get the food. They swim up to the glass. They look at you. They're not scared. It's the scaredy fish that I enjoy less.
That makes sense. Like the colorful poison ones, kind of like the dart frogs, where like they can just like hang out in clear view, because being in clear view, like everything around them is like, all right, well, that thing's orange. Nothing else is orange. I want nothing to do with it. Like, I don't want to eat that red thing.
You guys, I know Woody's up on the hill over there, far away from prying eyes. But have you put up any Halloween decorations, Taylor?
I have not, but I bought candy today when I was out getting my Pikachu costume. I'm all set up, ready to hand out candy this weekend.
I think I'm gonna do some stuff in the yard. I got a bunch of spider webs and candles, and I got my fog machine, of course. I saw where this guy, I guess they thought that it was Halloween decorations, but it was just a man dead in the yard. And so when they came to cut the grass, they just cut around the dead body and left it laying there all day. And turns out, no, dead guy in North Carolina, China Hill or something was the community. Something
Holy
China.
shit.
Something
How'd he die?
China, something. I don't think they figured that out yet. There's, I think natural causes was part of it. It's like a 35-year-old guy. I'm off my memory. I read the article a couple days ago.
35 and just like laying.
Again, I read the article a couple
That's
days
crazy.
ago.
I found it. It's in China Grove, and they thought it was a training dummy, but it was an actual body. This article doesn't imply Halloween's in play, but
yeah, that's why they left it there. They thought it was Halloween decoration. So like the guy cut the grass and drove around a dead man because he thought it was one of those. You know, people do that shit all the time. I've seen some gruesome ones online where it's like, holy shit, this is a murder scene. This is crazy.
A couple of my neighbors went ham.
boat around it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the best possibility there for that groundskeeper. Like that could have ruined his day, but he was still just like, after this, I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A and like, it didn't
no
mess with
PTSD
him.
for me.
Yeah, no PTSD. He just was working. He probably was thinking like, all right, that's a 6x6 square I don't have to deal with because this guy just wanted to decorate in a weird way.
What if he drove over?
It must be one of those animatronic ones. It's gurgling at me.
What if he's like, I told him to clean that yard up. I'll drive over anything they left out here.
Yeah.
He's expecting straw to fly everywhere, but it's just intestines and brain matter.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, one of my neighbors like must have like brought like had dirt shipped in because they like made like a giant grave site with like someone burying like other, you know, fake people obviously in this giant. So there's just like a 5 foot tall by 5 foot wide, like giant pile of dirt sitting in their front yard with like all the decorations around it. Okay. I figure that guy did so much heavy lifting clearly that I don't actually need to do anything other than have candy.
Yeah. You could do like a Halloween type thing where you leech onto him and act like, what do you think of our decorations? What do you think? Yeah. You've got like a bowl of punch and that's it.
A bowl of punch. I'm ladling punch into their pillowcases.
It was Christmas, but there was this one that had an amazing display. You've seen them sync to music and it's outrageous. And the house next to it put a sign with an arrow that said ditto. I thought that was funny.
That is funny. Well,
we're
going to call it a show?
Yeah.
I loved it.
Check out our sponsors. Links in the description. PKA 671.
Gotta get
Happy Halloween.